Okay, I hope that fixed it. I'm gonna go check though. So now I'm on YouTube. Quickly check if it's working. It should be. I don't see why it's lagged. I tried it once and it worked perfectly, so I don't see why it shouldn't be working now. Right, let's see. Is it working now? Vote for Trump. Shut the fuck up. Ayo, Sadio, am I moving or is it lagging bare? Nice, good. Okay, thank the fucking Lord, because it was lagging a second ago. Cool. Thank you, bro. That's all I needed. Perfect. Thank you, bro. Everything is working. Bless. Okay, wait. Ah, yes. Good. That's what I needed. Cool. 8 viewers. Cool. Right, let me quickly check everything real quick, see what's going on. I'm hoping that it's gonna keep working. Okay, can you guys still see me? Yes, no? Yes, Mullah, she would. 100%. If you had enough evidence to convict her. Right, okay, cool. Wait, I need to see if the quality is good with the video. Let me just go on a random one. We'll go with this bitch.
People are dying and we're advocating for justice in the streets when more black people are being killed through the hands of women. The most dangerous place in America is between the legs of an African American woman, and I know it hurts and it's sad to say, but it's real and it's true.
So, you're talking about black babies dying, you're talking about abortion is murder.
Yes.
Tell the camera, mention the black babies. How many black lives are ended through abortion every year?
20 million have been killed in 47.
Bro, why does it have to lag when I play the video? Oh, it's better now. Okay. It's not lagging for me anymore. Okay, cool. So it just depends. So when I start off, it lags. That's fine.
Years. I want to say about 600,000 are killed on a yearly basis,
Right,
but
that's cool.
20 million black babies have been killed in 47 years. A lot of people speak of slavery, but during slavery, I believe it was 1882 to 1968, it killed about 3,600 black men and women, lynched them, but that was 86 years, killed 3,600 African Americans. In 47 years, 20 million have been killed. 3,600 black babies are killed in 3 days. And so that's one of the apparent issues of our culture and our
Tell me whenever
community.
it lags.
We are about 12% of the population right now. That's 6% men, 6% women. If we were to divide it straight down the middle. Did I answer your question?
Yes, but why are you pro-life or are you anti-abortion? Are you both?
I'm pro-Jesus. Jesus matters.
Not the
We got to
pro-Jesus.
get back to the sanctity and the value of Judeo-Christianity. At the adoption of the Declaration of Independence, abortion was
I can't lie to you. Better gonna go watch. I'm dead. Go have fun, bro. You too. I can't lie. I really want to debate someone on religion. I think that'd be fun. Debating someone on religion, yeah. I think I should do that. I think it'd be hilarious to debate someone on religion. Bye, Gulby. Let's see what's going on. Wait, so Neela, was the video a lot better now? Yeah. Yeah, it's good now. Okay, cool. That's good. Right, I'll continue watching it. How's the no lag? Yes, amazing.
criminalized in all 13 colonies. Where did we go? What happened? Where did we lose that value? People are dying and we're advocating for justice in the streets when more black people are being killed through the hands of women. The most dangerous place in America is between the legs of an African American woman, and I know it hurts. And it's
Did my man just say more people, the most deaths happen with abortions between the legs of an African American woman? I'm dead. I don't understand why people of color are so much more passionate about being Trump supporters than white people. I never understood that. I think it's the dumbest thing in the world. I genuinely think it's stupid.
sad to say, but it's real and it's true. And we gotta man up and accept the reality and the facts of what's happening in our community. No more excuses.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm passionate. I love Jesus.
I've never heard
love
that.
Jesus.
I understand. I think that's amazing. I think more
I hate Caitlyn Bennett with a passion, but that's just fucking funny. Caitlyn Bennett is an idiot, I swear to God. So dumb. That's so funny.
people need to embrace exactly how you feel. You said the most dangerous place for a black person is in the womb of a black woman.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
is powerful. There's a lot of people that are going to watch this
For
video
real.
and they're going to be mad at you. They're going to say, what are you talking about? It's the police that are killing us. The
No,
police is...
statistically, that doesn't make sense.
No.
There isn't no statistic that you can bring that can value how many black people are killed at the hands of police brutality in comparison to how many babies are killed in the womb. The question is, do you believe that babies are in the womb from the moment of conception? And if you don't believe it, the Bible says in Isaiah chapter 7,
This is what I mean, right? Okay, I've got no issue with people being pro-life because of their religion, but I think it's so dumb when you use it against people who aren't religious. I think it's so stupid. Like, I think a lot of scientists can agree that conceptions, like life starts at conception. I'd have no issue with that. But the fact that he's using the Bible to prove it is just what's funny to me. I think it's so stupid.
that behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son. This tells me that life begins at conception. And if you're still not convinced, in Matthew chapter 1 verse 23, he translates to his Jewish audience that baby in the womb. He said, behold, a virgin shall be with child and bear a son, and his name shall be called Emmanuel, God with us.
Why is he screaming? I don't
God says
understand.
you have been created in his image after his likeness. From the moment of conception, he knew Jeremiah before he was formed in the mother's womb. I don't care about how you feel. I don't care about if you like me. I care about the upholding of our Judeo-Christian values and the kingdom of God being advanced in power and authority. I'm not looking for friends.
I
I'm looking for
completely
righteousness.
yeah.
I don't care about no following. I'm not even on social media, so hate me. But Jesus loves me. I'm going to stand before him on the day of judgment, and he's going to say, what did you do on the issue of the hands that shed innocent blood?
You're going to have to tell me who you are, because I don't know.
Look, people are always talking about, well, it's just abortion. It's a single issue. Let me help you. The WHO, the WHO, the people you listen to that mandate you wearing masks, they said, for a generation to remain the same size, the next generation, there has to be 2,100 births per 1,000 women. We fell beneath that.
This has become an abortion thing, and I really don't like it.
In 1970. Why is that important? Because it puts pressures on our economic system. It causes us to have to depend on foreign immigration. 61 million immigrants have come into our nation to account for the 59 million of babies that are being aborted. It's about...
Does he think that people just don't die regularly? That these 61 million people are taking the place of these kids that were born, as if the kids when they're born are going to work straight away? That's not how that works. This guy's an idiot. He's actually stupid.
Resource management. Okay? So not only that, we got to deal with inflationary money printing. All at the hands of that shed innocent blood. That one issue addresses so many issues. Let's not even talking about national security issue, because the Muslims are multiplying. They're being fruitful. We don't... Praise the Lord. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
The Muslims, they're multiplying. They're being fruitful. Yes! There's a Muslim takeover of America. I'm dead. This is so funny. There's an entire Muslim takeover. I love it. 10 out of 10. Yes, as we should. Why shouldn't we take over? Of course. 100%. That is so funny.
You a hug. I appreciate everything that you're doing. I love your message. You're so passionate.
Thank you. God bless you.
What made you so passionate? When did you get involved in the abortion issue? What made you so passionate? When was that wake-up moment?
This was a supernatural event for me, man. God moved me and my wife from Atlanta about 2 years ago. And we've just been crying out and just weeping in the front of the abortion mills in Polk County. That's where we're at. And just God supernaturally just gripped our hearts and told us to advocate and stand for this. So we just been doing everything we can to sound the alarm. He told Jeremiah to sound the alarm, cry aloud, lift up your voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions. The people have transgressed against the kingdom of God.
I can't
the people have
this is stupid. I can't. I hate Caitlin Bennett with the passion, and I love her videos because they're so funny, because majority of the time she's getting destroyed by like leftists. But that was just dumb. That was honestly just stupid. Let's see. Biden supporters go nuts in Tampa. I can't lie to you. I kind of want to watch one of these like Jubilee ones. Democrat versus Republican. Oh, actually, I think there's a video I do want to watch by them. Was gonna lag.
Thanks for joining, guys.
Make sure you stick around to the end because we want to share a little bit more about Jubilee and this series.
Until
Let's
then,
watch
enjoy
Trump
the
versus
episode.
Biden. I think this one makes more sense. We'll watch we'll watch a bit of it. Oh my god, one of the
This
Jubilee
is a
ones
Smile
so funny.
Direct
Wait,
Club
which one?
aligner.
Tell me which one,
It's
and
how
then I'll watch
Smile
it.
Direct Club safely and
'Cause this one's
gently
51
straightens your
minutes
teeth.
long. It's kind of long.
I stand before you to officially launch my campaign for a second term.
I accept this nomination for President of the United States of America.
More than 200,000 people in the U.S. have died.
Historic mega fires. More than 38 million people have now lost their jobs.
I don't want to put my mask on.
That mask is killing people.
Socialism is nothing but communism.
Nationwide outrage.
We are close to a cultural civil war, as we have been since the 1860s.
Success is going to bring us together. We are on the road to success.
We are in a battle for the soul of this nation.
We are in a battle for this nation. I hate Trump with a passion.
Hello, my name is AK. I'm a business owner. I'm also a father, and I am currently a registered independent, but leaning Democrat.
Okay, one is, can Trump supporters and immigrants see eye to eye? Straight A, free range, parents, teens, mothers, pro-war A. Vegans versus meat eaters. Oh, that'd be an interesting one. Capitalist versus socialist, men's rights. Democrat versus Republican. And the other one is called Is It Time to Get... Okay, I watched that.
There is no making America great again. It implies that we want to go back to racism.
I disagree.
It implies we want to go back to having KKK out and about.
To say like all white people think that way is wrong.
Let me do this. There we go.
Hi, I'm Charity. I am a social justice advocate and a Democrat.
My name is Michael. I work as a fiduciary in the finance industry, and I'm a Republican.
My name is Hope. I'm a political activist as well as a student, and I am a conservative.
I'm Josh. I'm a writer in the film industry, and I'm a Democrat.
My name is Christy. I'm a conservative, and I run a dating app called Ryder.
My name is Alan Suarez. I'm a student and political organizer, and I'm a Democrat.
Hi, J Smash.
I have the same political beliefs as my parents.
Nope. No, I'm on the more extreme, so I don't. But they are definitely, like, they would definitely vote
So a lot of
Biden.
times I do get told that I'm only a conservative because my parents are, when in actuality, they rarely talked about politics. It wasn't until very recently that I realized, yeah, my parents are conservative. They really wanted my sisters and I to be able to come to our own beliefs and whatnot.
I do have pretty much the same views as my parents, but I'm the first one to actually be able to vote and be outward politically about my views. Well, I come from a low-income family. My dad's disabled, and they tried and they fought very hard to keep me in a good school so I can critically think on my own and constantly question and challenge my beliefs and the views of society.
Why did you decide to lean left?
I'd say primarily where I was.
Bitch, lean left to who? Compared to Republicans, yeah, you're leaning left if you're a Democrat. But you're not left. You're still right, bitch. No. You guys are still dickheads. I don't like Democrats. They can go suck my big toe.
But I did give both a chance.
Sure,
I read both platforms and I said, I think I agree with more of the left than I do with the right. But with that being said, of course, not one side is completely correct. People who are in my situation, I feel for them and I want to be able to help them out. And I know there's other Mexican Americans or other people who is going to be their first time voting, and I want to make sure that they have a right path and they know.
Well, why do you think Republicans don't want to help?
No Republican ever reached out to me.
I see.
Yeah, I don't doubt that Republicans want to help. I never got that opportunity.
Yeah, we just try to help with jobs. That's what I would say, and economic growth.
There's no economic growth under, I'm sorry, if you're a Republican and you believe tax cuts equal economic growth, that's just not true.
I guess I'm the unicorn standout here, and that there's a very clear political difference between me and my parents. I grew up in a conservative suburb. In my first election, I voted for McCain because I got the talking points every night, and I was told about redistribution of wealth, and that didn't seem fair to me. But then I got older, I started meeting people with different perspectives, and I started doing my own research.
My party is misrepresented by the media.
Of course the Republicans will. Why am I not surprised?
Yes.
Misrepresentation. As the Democrats.
Everyone. I think we can all agree that news channels in general basically just suck.
There was a time when Americans all lived in the same information space, and we could disagree, but at least we were disagreeing on the same set of facts.
Do you guys at least accept there's a big media bias?
On both sides, absolutely.
No, mostly for the left, though. That
a media bias towards the left? What news is that man watching? I'm so confused. If it genuinely was just leaning to the left, then I'm sorry, the left would win all the time, because then we'd have more of an effect on people. But that's just not the case. That's genuinely the dumbest thing I've heard. That is so stupid.
most of the media is in support of the left agenda.
Melania Trump has yet to grace one cover of a magazine.
Really?
That's that's because she's ugly. Hold up, there's a difference. Let's not do that.
Well, Michelle Obama was on how many covers?
Right, that woman was beautiful. Like, not to be rude or anything, but
190?
Michelle Obama was much more.
She had a name for herself. She's a lawyer. Melania's like, this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah, I do think Melania is a little bit more private, and that could
she
be
may
why.
want that, yeah.
So,
could be why.
yeah, MSNBC, CNN, NBC, even CBS, the list goes on.
In general, more media organizations tend to be a little bit more favorable towards the Democratic position, yes. But I think to say the two biases are the same. The fake news on the right is so much more blatant and...
Oh, come on.
You wish the left coined that phrase.
What?
I want to make America great again.
Great to what? Like, great again to
Take
what
apart
time?
Democrat or Republican, right or left. America is our country. We all live here. We're all citizens. I laughed a little bit when we heard the statement, I want to make America great again, opposed to not make America great again. I have no understanding or concept of how anyone in this room could not want our country to be great again.
I fucking hate America.
The phrase "make America great again" implies that America was great to begin with. And if it was great to begin with, the question is for who? It wasn't great for minorities, it wasn't great for people of color, and you know, you guys sit in a position of privilege, in a position of whiteness, where you can say that because it was always great for you, absolutely.
Excuse
but it wasn't.
me, I'm sorry, you don't get to speak for me. I'm Hispanic, so you don't.
I'm talking from my experience.
You just pointed to.
Bitch, you look white. You're white passing. I don't care whether you are Hispanic. Number one, Hispanic means you could be white, because Hispanic just means you come from a Spanish-speaking country. So you could be Hispanic and white. Don't be stupid now. Huh? Idiot, man. This is what I mean. Fucking dumb. That's why Republicans are so stupid.
All of us called us white.
But you pass as white.
My mother was adopted out of Guatemala, and she was an immigrant.
You sit from a...
You do not get to...
Is this someone getting pressed?
Directed to you.
I will not sit here and be pointed at and told that I am sitting in a position of white privilege.
This isn't about you. That's the problem with
How
Republicans.
is it not about
it's not
me
about you. I'm talking in general. I am talking in general.
How is that in general?
If you let me
I would
talk,
never sit in this.
Why is this woman getting so pressed? What's going on?
Let me talk. I would be more than glad to tell you.
I would love for you to clarify that, but you better take better care with your words.
Don't tell me what I better do. Thank you.
Oof.
My point is, when we have a country that was built on the backs of slavery, the things I still feel today as a black woman, there is no making America great again. It implies that we want to go back to racism, heightened racism, because it still exists today. It implies we want to go back to, you know, having KKK out and about. They have a social media presence, but having them
Yes, I know. I've been threatened by them twice.
Like is what's
yes,
happened
I'm on their
recently
hit
since
list.
Trump has been elected.
When I hear "Make America Great Again,"
so
I think he's just talking about the numbers, economic growth. To say like all white people think that way is wrong. It's just talking about how when we won World War II, we defeated the Nazis. We were the best country in the world at the time, given the fact all the segregation in the South.
So that's why I think it's dangerous, though, because it's too broad.
I just feel like even if he make America economic again, they would say, oh, he's trying to take the minorities out and make it more economic. Anything that he would say, they would attack it.
We should help the underprivileged.
I think it's written in our basic rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? Everybody should be on the same level playing field, right? Especially the underprivileged who don't have these kinds of opportunities. They might have grown up in an education system that's not as good quality as certain places.
And then do you think that's almost a disservice to them, having to go to a college where they're not almost prepared?
Exactly.
They were given, they were given though, like the opportunity because of maybe like affirmative action, for example, where they get into that spot and then they're like, oh wow, I'm kind of overwhelmed.
There's a number of factors that we have to consider, you know, if we're talking about schools. First of all, we don't pay teachers enough, so it's not exactly attracting the best and brightest individuals to raise our kids. If you do great as a teacher, the incentive is to move to a better school with students who already have economic advantages.
For example, I'd want voucher systems for underprivileged kids to go to good schools.
What makes them underprivileged?
I would say economic status.
I guess my question is, why aren't the parents working?
Oh, well.
There are a number of factors. I'm sorry, this is what really annoys me is get a job. The issue is when you're living on a minimum wage, some of these families, the parents are working 2 to 3 jobs on minimum wage. And even then they're having a hard time because they have to raise kids. Yeah, that woman's so annoying. I don't understand what this woman is on about. This is so stupid. I think it's genuinely so dumb. Like, I don't understand what her problem is. There is no reason for her to say that. Why aren't the parents working? Your thin lips. Oh my God.
They came from a situation where their mother was maybe in prostitution or something.
Well, a lot of kids are underprivileged because of the socioeconomic status they come from. The way our systems in our districts are set up, it's, keep the poor here, keep the rich here, lack of opportunities, lack of education.
Right.
Kids that are sex trafficked are made primarily foster youth
sex
of
trafficking
color.
is very different
But it
than
turns into,
underprivilege.
it turns
Sex trafficking
into adult prostitution. That's underprivileged too. If you're a foster youth, I was sexually exploited as a foster youth. I wasn't prostituted, but I was sexually exploited. And when I was incarcerated, when I was a teenager, I was incarcerated with dozens of little girls that were in jail for being sexually exploited by grown men. So even as we touch on the Me Too movement, these are people that are getting away with,
The Me Too movement originated in Hollywood with actresses that were paid millions of dollars by a director.
But it's real everywhere.
No,
it gave
what you're
voice
talking
to
about
it.
is very different.
It originated there, but it gave voice to everyone.
The Me Too movement needed to happen in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
When it came out, even though it happened in Hollywood, I went on social media and put #MeToo. It empowered me. It gave me a voice. It made me feel like I wasn't dirty or I did something wrong. I'm okay, finally, with being vulnerable and telling a story about something that impacted me as a child. And that impacted not just me, but thousands, maybe millions of girls.
The other side's agenda has caused my life harm.
Actually, I'm coming in.
I can't remember if it was the first time Obama was elected or the second time, but I do remember I was in middle school and a girl came up, got into my face, and was like, "You're gonna cry because your president wasn't elected." I felt very attacked and very unsafe in that moment.
I would say mine was a little bit more life and death situation. I was attacked outside of a restaurant and stabbed 4 times.
This girl, when I was 5, came up to me and screamed at my face because I'm a Republican. Yeah, I got stabbed 4 times in the chest. I was barely alive, but I'm alive. Yeah, see, this is that's a bit of a sticky one.
Back in Ohio. So I just wish I could open carry and protect myself more effectively. That's why I feel like the other side's agenda kind of put me in harm's way. I have a Second Amendment right, and I have a right to carry, and I don't see it any different, really.
Well, personally, I'm not a person who believes that we need to get rid of the Second Amendment. I think that's a false stereotype that's propagated upon all of us.
Yes.
If I'm with my children and I'm by myself or whatever the case and I'm being stabbed, bet your bottom dollar, if I have a gun, I'm going to use it, but I'm not going to use a gun on someone just because they're in my way or I feel threatened or the idea of them or, you know, I'm not, but that's what's happening. And that's, yours is an exception. And I'm so sorry that happened. But when we see people getting killed, when we see what happened to Trayvon Martin, when we see what's happening in the world, it's because of, as an identity, as a person, because of the color of my skin. I'm a threat to you.
I think it's really about gun safety because we're not about taking away the Second Amendment. We're just about making it safer for people to hold arms or...
I'm for background checks.
Yeah, for background checks.
Background checks completely.
I just have...
Okay, in regards to my beliefs on gun control, I'm completely against gun control. I just think, gun control is kind of stupid, but in my opinion, because it doesn't really work, specifically in America. Like, these background checks don't really achieve much. They don't really do anything.
Because has the other side's agenda personally harmed you. And so from what I hear, and I don't mean to discredit, it seems like someone from the other side attacked you, but not the agenda. The one area that might harm me is immigration. I come from a family of immigrants. They're all legal now, and so it personally hasn't harmed me, but I have very many friends and family friends that have had trouble with this. But personally, I have not been harmed.
I know that what happened to me had nothing to do with the left's agenda. And I'm sorry, it's just, but still at the same time, I did feel attacked. I felt unsafe.
This was 5th, let me not make fun of someone else's issues, but you're 5th grade, and you're crying about, wait, how old are you in 5th grade, Neela? How old are you? I'm really confused. Someone explain. Cause, yeah, why is she crying? Exactly. How old are you in 5th grade? I don't understand. I genuinely don't get it. Like 11. 5th grade. Wait, no? How old are you? Say yeah. Yeah, 11ish. Yeah, you're 11. This woman's probably like 18 and above. I'm gonna say like 23. Grow up.
At a school I had gone to since kindergarten.
This country is becoming too socialist.
Am I the only one? I would say that people want healthcare for all. They want college for all.
Yes.
When in reality, someone has to pay for it. I'm okay with.
It's not someone. Everyone pays. That's the thing. It doesn't make sense for you to say someone as if this. No. You're just.
The schools being public. I'm okay with the streets being cleaned or, the police force being paid by tax dollars, but that necessarily doesn't need to apply to the whole system.
I think people want socialism, but the country certainly is not socialist, and it never will be.
Yeah, the country, I think that just...
capitalism will fail. Let me just say that. It will fail, and I can't wait until it does. It's going to be fun.
Like millennials, though, I would say a large portion want it.
And as a millennial, I'm just going to say, I don't like to put the labels on things. I don't want to say we want a socialist society. We want a society where we have access to opportunities regardless of party, regardless of race. Yep. When the Affordable Care Act was implemented, I immediately saw that I was paying more out of pocket. All of a sudden, there's this co-insurance I got to pay for. No one likes paying more money, but I understood the reason why. I understood that it benefited people that are less fortunate. More than likely, and this is...
It also benefits everyone. That's the thing. When you pay more taxes, eventually the money comes back to you.
My opinion is that Republicans are often, what benefits me as an individual versus society as a whole.
No. I think I care about myself for sure, as anyone should, but collectively, I want America to be great again.
Yeah, but with Republicans, everything is fine and dandy. Give more jobs, give more healthcare, give X, Y, and Z. But then the second it personally affects me and then I have to pay more, then it becomes a problem.
Who are you
just
referring
Republicans
to?
in general.
Who are you referring to, though?
Trump just introduced a new budget, 2 days ago, that cut Medicare, that cut healthcare, that cut social service programs to build a wall.
That protects the nation we live in.
What protects the nation is making sure we have access.
Protecting the nation from what? I'm sorry. That one was really pissing me off. Protecting the nation from what? From who?
To healthcare, access to education.
You're not the president.
I'm someone that's been negatively impacted by not having healthcare, not having education.
We all have.
If you've been negatively... How can you say you've been negatively impacted by your own party? Now doesn't... Huh? What? You're a dumbass.
We all have been negatively impacted.
You've been negatively impacted by someone that crossed the border illegally?
Yes,
are you kidding me? My sister has, yeah. Someone tried to break into her apartment.
And you knew he was undocumented for a
Yeah,
fact.
because he worked at her job along with many of the illegal aliens that worked in her company.
Aliens.
Consistently, she was being sexually abused. She told her boss. They didn't do shit. And then finally, he got so drunk or whatever, he followed her home and he tried to break into her apartment.
Those things do happen, but it's not an immigration problem.
It's a problem.
You don't think that's an immigration
I have nothing wrong with immigration.
It's not a problem for all. Healthcare is a problem for all.
If you have a good job or you have a job, you should be allotted healthcare from the business, okay? What's wrong with that?
If you have a job.
I don't think you have to.
Why don't you have a job?
There's a lot of reasons why people don't have a job. Not with the type of job, the access to jobs. It's a real life thing that you probably haven't experienced.
Jobs?
So something that not a lot of people think about is what about automation? Right? There's a company in San Francisco that says if it's repeatable, it's replaceable. Yeah. So what about all those people that are going to lose their jobs? And so how are they going to get Medicare? How are they going to have an education system?
That's a great point.
Well, then you have to get into one of the fields that isn't going to be replaced. That's what I would say.
How are they going to pay for their education so they can switch their fields?
Learn to code.
Oh my goodness.
It's not, guys. It's not a right. Go to another country. See what it's like in another country.
But it should be a right. That's the point.
That's right. That's my point, though. If to be in this country, it is a privilege.
Yeah, it is.
Earn your privilege.
Okay.
What privilege is it to live in America? Honestly, I want to know, what privilege is there to live in America? I don't understand. Why is it so amazing in America? There are so many other countries that are so much better. I'll just go to one of the Nordic countries. Let me go Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, all these countries that have... What? It's dumb. It's stupid. That's what it is. It's just dumb. Ugh.
It is not a right. Having a job is not a right. Insurance is not a right. College is not a right.
Again, I don't believe in rights because that means you are born with certain things given to you. But I do believe it should be available for everyone. Because again, if everyone has the chance to go college, then potentially everyone could get a job. Meaning potentially everyone that graduates can help. Of that free shit though. I am gonna need some of that free shit. For real.
Humanity has always found a way.
All right, I'm going to pause there because this is the final prompt. And I am very curious to see what everybody says to this. If you would like to have a slice
I would love a
I'm on a keto diet.
I said I wanted pizza this week, but I am on a diet.
I have a client.
Here, I'll just like...
These cookies are really good. Oh, there's one more.
Is this nation too divided?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Way too divided.
I shouldn't have to lose friends over my political views.
Wait, no, I heavily disagree with that. For so many reasons. Number one, if you vote for Trump and your friends are people of color and they're saying that the stuff is directly affecting them and you still say no, but it's not, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, you cannot say that political views shouldn't concern your relationship, because they should. If my friend was a Republican, I couldn't be friends with them. So yeah, no, I don't understand that. I don't understand why people say, if you let political issues see if you have friendships with certain people, then you're just childish. No, I just care about my life.
A prime example of just how divided our nation is.
My son, we worked on the Trump campaign, and we worked with Don Trump Jr., and our car was keyed twice because I had a Trump sticker on my car.
And they do it again.
We were obviously at the inauguration. My daughter was in a black tie. We went to the inaugural ball, of course, and on our way there, she was spat on, literally had spit from one of the protesters spit on. My daughter's 16. I don't know what you would do as a mother. I lost.
I'm not gonna stay on camera.
Oh yeah. Well, I did the exact same thing. And it was just like, really? Like, this is where we are?
That was wrong, and that shouldn't happen.
Yeah,
That shouldn't happen to anyone. We need to know how to disagree and respect each other's parties. And that happens on both sides. Trump supporters do the same thing to us. But it's not okay in any instance. We shouldn't be spitting on people. We should set examples, and it starts with us.
I think it's something that we definitely need to focus more on. Be at least willing to come to the table and have a conversation, even if we have different viewpoints, because we will, inevitable, but at least come and talk about them and recognize that while we do have different solutions, we have the same issues.
I'm actually gonna give you a hug.
I could not hug that woman. I'm sorry, the one that said she was Hispanic, I would just have to straight just knock her out. She was fucking annoying me the entire time. And the white girl too.
As much conflict as there was, I think that was still really valuable.
It feels really real to what's happening right now in our country.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like people like that personally. Should I watch Immigrants versus Trump supporters? What should I watch next? Do you guys have any videos in mind? Say yeah. Say yeah. One of the ones I said, wait, let me quickly go scroll up and see what you said. Can Trump supporters and immigrants see eye to eye? Oh, yeah, can Trump supporters and immigrants see eye to eye? There we go. Clicking on that right now. Oh, it's just loading. It's gonna lag.
Struggling with your math modules at uni? Watch bite-sized video tutorials and practice problems, customized to your syllabus. Start your free trial today.
Hi, Neela. I love that you're actually this supportive. Wait, okay, it's gonna lag, isn't it? Can we just peep the
Those are things we don't want in the United States. And one other thing.
There's people with predatory behavior
in every...
Excuse me, but you get mad at me, but if I could say this, it's not baked into their religion.
Oh, fuck. I'm gonna hate him.
Trump supporters, can I have you over there? My immigrants, can I have you in the other light?
It's only like a tiny bit in the beginning. It will get better. Okay, cool.
Sometimes I feel anxious about how the other side views me.
Yeah, of course, this is what I mean. Of course the Trump supporters are gonna walk. I don't give a fuck about what fucking Trump supporters think about me. They can go suck my big toe.
So it's not necessarily about the idea of immigrants, but I'm Muslim. And there can be a lot of directed aggression from Trump supporters that I think I felt and other people in my Muslim community have felt.
Yes, good
and
I'm glad.
That's why I'm here sitting with you guys.
I own a clothing line, Magapreneur. This is my clothing line. I'm a political strategist and a political activist. And when I leave my house, I am in fear for my life because every day I get death threats. So I think we both should be able to freely express.
Bruh, if you're wearing and you have an entire company based on MAGA, what the fuck do you expect? Of course you're gonna get death threats. The same thing, see this is the thing, right? Republicans are scared when they wear MAGA uniform. I've been to a Republican, to like a Republican meet, you know, where they do like the big fucking see Trump talk, whatever. I've been to one of those before when I went into America. I was an immigrant and the amount of hate I got just for being there. I wasn't wearing Biden nothing. And just the amount of hate I got for just, you know, wearing it was disgusting. So, I'm sorry that you wear clothes and choose to wear clothes and get hated on when I walk around near Republicans and get hated on. Please.
Ourselves. I love everybody. I'm here for everybody. I'll fight for your right for freedom, but I expect for you to fight for mine too, because that's why we're in America.
Fuck Republicans. You guys
My name is Shastina, so I absolutely love immigration, but I believe that we need to secure our border. And it's the same thing of I wouldn't just let anyone in my car or in my house.
All right, disagree.
Someone walking into your house doesn't help in any way, shape, or form. That's the thing. Like me, going to America illegally will bring a net positive to America, because then there will be a job. I'll also pay tax. I'll also, you know, the company that I work for will also be making money off of my labor. It's a net positive. Someone walking to your house, there is no net positive there. That's just stupid.
Come on in.
I used to get anxious about how I'm perceived, not just by some quote-unquote other side, because my identity is very apparent. In standing in my truth, I think it allows other folks to stand in theirs and to invite people to also learn more about me rather than be worried about how I'm perceived.
I think my group gets represented unfairly in the media.
No, see, this is what I mean. Of course, the Trump supporters.
Well, I'm a Mexican, and I hesitated because when Trump said that things about Mexicans being criminals and all that, I didn't take it personal because I'm not that. So I was like, that does not represent me. Like,
I don't take things personally either.
So that's why I hesitated, but then I'm like, I am not only one Mexican individual who's an immigrant. I'm part of all the immigrants, no matter what country you're from.
Well, we can say the same thing for Trump supporters, right?
Yeah,
I mean, now we have to, maybe I wasn't called racist, but you were called racist. Well, guess what? We're both Trump supporters, so now we have to.
It works the same way as, you know, my friend has fucked 50 million people and they are my friend, and now I hang out with them 24/7 and I expect not to be judged. It's not how it works. You'll be judged, irregardless of what you do. If you, as a Republican, get called racist, or if you associate with Republicans and someone calls you racist, or thinks you're racist because you associate with them, you're probably racist. Sorry to tell you.
Band together.
Could I ask both of you a question? And I'd like an honest reaction to this. In my mind, it's languaging. I'm a writer. And I think if we made a distinction between jihadists and Muslims, that would solve a big problem.
That's plausible.
maybe I'm incorrect in saying this, but for anyone that doesn't know, the term jihad comes from, so there's two different types. There's greater and lesser jihad. An inner struggle, one of them is an inner struggle, the other one is a holy war. I don't understand where the word jihadist came in, talking about this certain thing.
And I think a lot of that goes into really the realm of how much people really are interested in understanding that kind of diversification and allowing the community that does know that really, take the lead and initiative and show other people what that's about.
I feel threatened by this presidency.
All the immigrants walk up.
Oh, that's interesting.
Of course they're going to walk up. Why am I not surprised?
When President Trump got elected as president, I was scared. Even though I had not a reason to be, because I'm legal here. Power becomes scary in hands of a monster. Power becomes scary in hands of ignorance. And I'm scared about my people, and not only, like I said, the Mexicans, all the good, hardworking immigrants.
Yeah, I think the election night was when I felt alarmed. I've been a community organizer and an activist for 15 years now, right? That night, it felt like a slap in the face to all of the work that we have always tried to do in terms of humanizing ourselves.
My name is Kifa Shah. I think we realize as immigrants how lucky we are to be here, and that's why we want to create a society that's more welcoming for others to be here.
You said it was a slap in the face, and I take offense to that, because you're saying you worked so hard, and yet we work so hard too.
There's a difference. Immigrants don't affect anyone when they work hard to get someone elected. And if that person does get elected and becomes the president, they don't harm people with policies. Whereas you guys, as Republicans, directly do that, specifically with Trump. Directly do that. So yeah, it's a slap in the face for them.
To elect a president of the United States that we think will enforce the laws, will enforce the United States Constitution. And it wasn't to be racist, or it wasn't to boot you out of the country. And it was to enforce the First Amendment. It's actually to enforce your freedom of speech. I understand why you're scared, but as a white Trump supporter, I am scared of this presidency because I have lost my freedom of speech. I have lost my freedom of religion.
Hate crimes increased under Trump's presidency. What? They literally increased. How does that make sense? Please explain. I'm so confused. You still have freedom of speech. You can be racist if you want.
I have lost my freedom to wear this shirt in the public just because I have a different political view.
No shit.
Now I'm the enemy.
Yes, you are.
In my own country.
Yes.
I think that that's unfortunate that that happened to you, but it's almost like you have some semblance of the reality that people of color live with for centuries here.
But I've never seen that.
And I've never... the first time you felt that, right?
Right, but I'm just going to let you know that my neighbors are black. I have Muslim neighbors, I have neighbors of all kinds. When we go to the grocery store and I'm picking out yogurt who looks like someone just like you.
Did she really just say that because she's never seen like racism happen to a person of color or a Muslim? That just doesn't exist. That is amazing. I love that. She really just said, experienced racism? Fuck no, you did not. You've never seen it happen. So it doesn't exist. Period, poo. Period. Huh? Nah, this white woman is,
But it doesn't mean that you
crazy.
experience the same thing as me, even though we eat the same yogurt.
But nobody in my county treats people like that. It's just not done.
I don't think you would be able to say that. I lived in Orange County up until a few months ago. If I'm at a mall or if I'm even at the beach, right, I get a lot of strange stares. I even feel like a lot of people after the election came up to me asking me about my positions, my religion, my identity. So what I'm trying to say is, like, I can actually relate to what you went through, because that, to be honest, is a shred of similarity to what people of color have always
Since we
felt.
came here and when we were born, basically. Sure.
I believe in immigration, but I am against illegal immigration.
There's a reason why illegal immigration is illegal. Like,
want to stand out online? Go to Wix.com and create a professional website.
Say yeah.
My whole thing is assimilation, right? So like making sure that the cultures match. If, you know, someone in the Middle East who's gay will be killed, right? That's a thing, and it's horrible. If someone with that culture somehow makes it through vetting and comes here and then sees a gay couple, you know, kissing or whatever, they're gonna freak out, or they're gonna react very differently in a way that, you know, we're trying to move.
It's ironic that a Republican is mentioning this. It's very ironic, one. Two, no, we assimilate perfectly. My parents are homophobic, I would say. They think, you know, being gay is unnatural. I personally think it's a natural thing. Well, not I think, I know it's a natural thing. But in regards to this is if a Muslim comes into the country and sees it happen, they're not just going to kill the gay person. That doesn't happen. There's still laws Muslims abide by. What? That doesn't make any sense. That was genuinely the dumbest thing. They don't just go, oh my god, gay. Oh my god, look at this gay person. Ew, ew. No, they don't do that. We just ignore it. That's all they do. It's really like, you guys make it sound a lot more extreme than it is.
Past, and we're not trying to be held back by. So I believe assimilation is probably one of the most important factors of why we need legal and not illegal immigration.
My thing is about money. An awful lot of people who came here legally don't want illegal people being able to come or get free college.
Free college? You guys don't have free college in America. Even public colleges aren't free. No? So what the fuck is he talking about? You can't get free college in America. Or is this a Canadian show? No, wait, even Canada isn't free. The fuck are you on about? Huh? Right, free college. You guys, right.
It costs $118 billion in welfare benefits. That's a huge, why do I have to pay so that Walmart has cheap workers? My name's Ken Unger. I don't have.
How can you be a Republican but anti-corporation? That doesn't make sense to me. Being a Republican means you want less taxes. By them paying less taxes. Wait, I'm so confused.
Anything against immigrants. It's a political problem. It's not an immigrant problem.
It's both.
I was an illegal immigrant at one point in my life. I am not anymore. But ultimately, we left a country of war, a country where extremism and terrorism was a reality. And this is something that was on the daily, oppression towards women.
But if we don't have legal immigration, then we'll have that here. We want you to come and be safe, but don't you want that for everyone else? It doesn't matter where you're coming from.
I think it might be a misconstrued or a misconception to think that the illegal immigrants might bring up the crime rates. And when we're talking about what happens after immigrants...
Yeah, he's not wrong. The illegal immigrants and illegal immigrants, when they come into the country, they cause less crime than that of national-born Americans. Mind you, if we're considering like an immigrant compared to the immigrant population, or an illegal immigrant compared to the illegal immigrant population, compared to that of a national-born American compared to their population, per capita, illegal immigrants commit less crime than that of a national-born American citizen. So,
or refugees or illegals and anything come into the state, and how can we help them from here? I think that is the real essential question. We have a humanitarian duty to help one another out, regardless of if we're Afghan, if we're Israeli, if we're American. We're all humans, ultimately.
That's so fantastic, but what about our vets? What about our children that are...
That's a you problem. The reason your vets aren't getting the support they need is because your welfare state is complete shit. You need to fix your welfare first. If it wasn't for how shit your welfare was, these vets would be getting the help they need, but they don't because of how... Oh my god, this woman is dumb.
Starving. What about our foster homes that are full? What about them? We're not helping them. We're taking in all these refugees.
Okay, go ahead and ask it. What's the question? Eamon Lotus. This is gravely important. I'll go ahead. What do you think of Father Stretch My Hands? What? I don't know what that is. Good song or not? I've never heard it. What is it? Father Stretch My Hands. I'll go listen to it right now. On my knees. Oh wait, I can't because the YouTube video can't. I'll get reported and copyright. Whoopsie. Sorry. Kanye West. Oh, I don't listen to Kanye West. I'm sorry, but I can't listen to it. I'll listen to it later. But Kanye West to me is I don't really like his music. Some of his songs are okay, but a lot of them I don't like. Can't lie.
If we can't fix our citizens, how can we fix others? It's just kind of like, if I can't love myself, I can't love another person.
Sam
It should be easier to immigrate into America.
Wait, what was it?
It should be easier to immigrate into America.
Yes, it should be open borders.
It should be easier. The wait time should be shorter, right?
Yeah.
But I believe that it's so lengthy not because the process is so extreme. I mean, personally, I think it's so lengthy because it's mismanaged.
Yes.
I think that
too many hands in the cookie jar.
Well, that too, but I think it's just like there's a way and a process that should be put in place so it's not 15 years. Let's say that they fully cooperate, right? Let's say they have everything, they have all their documents, and they're ready. Yeah, I think it should be a lot shorter.
Yeah, album back to 808s and Heartbreakers, all bangers. Also, fuck Dumb Chuds and Pick Me Stacey's. I love that. Yes, I agree. Fuck them. But no, my biggest issue with immigration, just not just illegal immigration specifically, is the citizenship test anywhere though. Specifically in the UK and the US, it's complete bullshit. Why do I need to know who the 8th president of the United States is? How is that ever gonna help me? That doesn't make sense. Why the fuck do I need to know where the fuck, what year the White House was built? Why do I need to know these dumb questions? They don't help anything or anyone.
So you're saying make it less bureaucratic?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. I mean, I think I would agree with that. I just feel like when it comes to Trump, you support the individual, but then the bureaucracy, the administration, all of that is so painstaking and just so inefficient. And all of this, it doesn't really compute for me. So I think I'm.
Well, we've only been in there a year, right?
For me, yeah. I mean,
and we have so many changes that we want to make.
So let's talk about a couple of policy things. What about the Muslim ban or the travel ban?
The travel ban to me was more of a, it was something that was created
Obama's
by Obama
ban.
anyway. But it was enacted by Trump. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I agree with the travel ban.
Yeah,
right?
it's so
and
stupid.
I agree with refugees, but that's two separate things to me.
So what I'm trying to say is that none of these policies that are happening are not to do with one another. They're all
interlinked,
intertwined. When we say we support the travel ban, but we also support refugees, but we also want to help them get vaccinations, and we also want to do this, and we also want to do. Well, don't forget we're funding the same bombs that are causing the Yemenis to have to become refugees.
But there has to be a reason, right? So it's all connected, right? So
why are we bombing Yemen?
Personally, I haven't looked into Yemen.
I guess I'm missing your point.
Refugees you support.
Yes.
Travel ban, Muslim ban you support.
It's not a Muslim ban.
It's not a Muslim ban.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a Muslim ban because some of the countries, right, cool, weren't Muslim. But Ninja Raid, who? What's a Ninja Raid? You guys need to explain. I'm new to this. Right, in regards to like immigration and stuff, generally speaking, it's even though it wasn't a Muslim ban, it was. It was because you banned countries that, number one, you banned the wrong countries to the big boys. I know who Ninja is, but what's a Ninja Raid? Has raided your channel. Who the fuck are these people? Yeah, no. I'm so confused. Same. If you ask Rick Astley for a DVD of the movie Up, he won't give it to you because he's never going to give you up. However, by not giving you up like you asked for it, he's letting you down. This is now known as the Astley paradox. Yeah, I am. If I figure out how, I'm new to this. I'm sorry. Wait, actually. There we go. I've got my phone now, so there we go. Perfect. Thank you. I'm not racist, I'm a big Arabian motherfucker. Okay. Let me remove his messages. Because that's not okay. Man's moving hella racist. Yeah. Yeah, no, in regards to, so what was he saying in the video?
So it's all connected.
Oh yeah, in regards to the refugees and the Muslim ban, right? They quite literally contradict each other, because if you left America as a Muslim immigrant and tried to come back, you wouldn't be able to come back because of the said Muslim ban. 1, 2, the Muslim ban in itself was supposed to protect from threats, but the countries that were banned haven't caused any terrorist issues in America. If they wanted to ban any countries, it'd be Saudi Arabia, Dubai, those places. But
right, so
why are we bombing Yemen?
Personally, I haven't looked into Yemen.
I guess I'm missing your point.
Refugees you support.
Yes.
Travel ban, Muslim ban you support.
It's not a Muslim ban.
It's not a Muslim ban.
Yes.
I support a travel ban so we can assess who's coming in.
I just think it's important to contextualize. Like you're saying, nothing happens in a vacuum, right? And I think that if we start to actually connect the dots, like I'm encouraging us to do, then it'll become a lot more understandable.
I mean, I don't believe in bombing anyone.
Well, then you wouldn't support.
I would like to answer your question about why we're bombing Yemen. We're not bombing Yemen, we're bombing radical jihadists in Yemen who are killing people. That's why we're bombing parts of...
What the fuck has that got to do with... Oh my god. And let's not use those words. What has that got to do with... with anything? What has that got to do with America? I don't understand. The issues that are brought upon Americans... that America brings upon people is getting involved. Why do they need to intervene? That's an issue between Yemen and Yemen alone. They weren't affecting anyone else.
Yemen selectively to kill people who are doing terrible, terrible things. And there's a tremendous amount of rape happening in England, taking these little girls, grooming them because they feel they have the right to do it. We don't want that here.
Absolutely not.
Those are things we don't want in the United States. And one other thing.
There's people with predatory behavior in every...
Excuse me,
we don't want it everywhere. We don't want it anywhere.
If I could say this, and you'll get mad at me, but if I could say this, it's not baked into their religion. There are 109 passages in the Quran where people are told to kill infidels and Christians and Jews. There's nothing.
You can just time someone out for 1 second to wipe the messages. Oh, okay. Thank you. How did you do that? Oh, it says timeout. Okay, thank you. Yeah, also in regards to killing infidels, the passage to set out on me. Okay, sorry. Let me just click your name. Time out. I'll do it 1 second. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, thank you. Right, I see that now. Oh, my message got wiped. Okay, cool. I see that. Thank you. That makes sense. Yeah, so in regards to this whole infidel thing, basically it just means if someone was to come at you for being Muslim or coming at Islam specifically, you then have the right to take any method to stop them. I was very happy to have the moniker of being the PA's third senator. I married a Philly girl, by the way, and he's wearing a Blue Hands jacket. Trim for charity. Of course, trim for charity. If you don't want to kick someone out of the chat forever, but you prefer them just to fuck off, or the words to go. Okay, thank you. Perfect. Biden is batshit crazy. Biden is, so Trump's a fucking idiot though. He's stupid.
Like that in our Bible or in the Bhagavad Gita or in anything Buddha taught or any other religion I'm aware of in the world.
Yeah, no, Islam isn't the only one. I'm sorry, Islam doesn't even teach predatory behavior, but even then, we can make the same argument for Christianity and for Judaism as well. If you misinterpret something, it's easy to do. I'm not saying none of these religions actually show any predatory behavior, but I'm saying if you misinterpret them, you can easily make it seem that way. Also, the way Chads constantly attack Biden like any leftist likes Biden and just can't see the pragmatism behind voting against Trump. For real, yeah, no, it's stupid. No leftist actually likes Biden. It's dumb.
Until people renounce those values, then they scare me.
I don't think, so I haven't renounced any part of my religion in front of you, so I hope that you don't feel threatened by me. So I'm not sure what you mean by that, and I won't renounce any part of Islam. The point that I'm trying to make is that you didn't really answer the question.
No, he did. He said the reason why we're bombing Yemen is to save the people. Because I'm assuming that in Yemen, we've got some bad...
Yeah, see, again, you're using the word assumption. Republican/chub brains runs on false dichotomies. Introduction more than two angles to any problem. For real, yes. Trump for world leader. Yeah, so tiny cheddars, you're just...
Travel ban is to keep out people like that.
Guys, remember, this is a video about Trump and immigrants. We're mixing too much the religion.
Well, I think they're stupid. They're like, it interlinks, but that's just dumb. No, the reason why you're bombing Yemen has nothing to do with the jihadist. That's stupid.
With the travel ban, yes, but you shouldn't question somebody's religion. I am very religious, and I'm not putting anything about my religion in here. I'm here to talk about me as an immigrant. You guys are here to talk about Donald Trump, like supporting him. Sure. And yes, I've learned a lot. Like, you guys are human too. You have values. Who would have thought, that we would have found a common ground and we wouldn't like hit each other right here, because after the media portraying you guys as bad or us as terrorists, whatever.
You're right. I think the media is portraying us all in a different light.
Yes. I think that we're portraying ourselves in a very different light too. I mean, I feel very attacked just now for my religion when I did come here to talk about myself as an immigrant.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But you kept talking about the travel ban. It's a Muslim ban.
That has to do with immigration.
And it's not a Muslim ban.
But what I'm trying to just say is that no one should have to explain Muslim, Christian, Jewish, none of the above, what they are to you. But Muslims continuously have to defend not only their religion, but their humanity.
I love this.
What I love about this country is the diversity.
Yeah, I read that.
I just, when I came here from Mexico, I just love how there was different religions, different colors, different people. Like, it's amazing. It's beautiful. And I don't understand how empty of a human you have to be to discriminate someone just because of their looks. Ignorant to assume.
It's these pre-programmed thoughts in our head from just media, is what I believe, just blowing things out of proportion, just consistently, just the outlook on minorities or the outlook on people in certain situations is just bad. Once you humanize someone when you're having a conversation, and I look past, whatever these biases that people try to enact on me, right? Or that I see, and I start looking at you as a person, and I start listening to what you're saying, you really realize that it's not that different. I mean, we have different situations, we have different information, but we're all trying to do the best that we have.
I think the real interesting aspect that I guess a lot of discrimination is really about is taking this general idea of a phenomenon where you can associate, in my case at least, like Muslims, terrorists, equal each other, and take individuals and group them so easily with that sort of discrimination. Sure. And I think that's something that we have to work towards in terms of separating ourselves from doing that.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you all.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, guys. So that video's over. That old fella with the dyed hair looks like he can't afford blue, so he just looks impissed. Yeah, no, he was really being really stupid. He kept saying that, Muslims were predatory and that, we have to distinguish Islam from jihadist, as if he even knew what the word jihad meant. It's stupid. It's just stupidity. But yeah. Yeah, if you guys have any other videos, suggest them. I don't mind watching anything, really. My feet. But yeah, no, this is fucking hilarious. I love doing this. It's kind of fun. I'm still learning. Don't know really how to do it. Bipster boy, this is a genuine video. Okay. Please write. Okay, cool. Thank you. Flat Earth. Wait, hold up. I'll watch that after this one. Let me take open link. Don't want it on YouTube though. Come on, see. Do that. Let's watch it. I got to go. I'll join back in now. Okay. Everybody say M-A-G-A. M-A-G-A. wait, it actually is. Oh lol, I didn't realise. It's on his actual channel. That's so funny. I didn't even realize that. That is hilarious. This motherfucker. I would like, wait, let's read some of the comments. Only thing missing was I'm Donald J. Trump and I approve this message. The village people but hates gays. For real. Trump is amazing. Only communists wouldn't get a kick out of this. I laughed. I'm a communist. Go fuck yourself. This is so funny. Bruh, okay, yeah, no, I'm watching the Flat Earthers one. Because apparently that one's fucking funny. These guys are stupid.
Hey guys, welcome back to Middle Ground.
Before we jump in, we've got a huge announcement. A lot of folks have been asking for this for years. We're finally giving you the first ever Jubilee podcast called Radical Empathy.
That's right. We are really proud and excited to share it with you guys. It actually features an interview with somebody in this episode. So stick around until the end and we'll tell you more about it.
For now, enjoy the episode.
The one on my right, sphere, if you think that is the shape of the Earth, point to it now. If you think the other model is the shape of the Earth, point to it now.
2, 1, 0, all engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
They just...
Small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
They just pointed at the flat. Do people actually believe it?
I know for a fact it's a globe.
No, wait.
The Earth is flat.
Wait,
It's like we have
Lotus,
this picture of reality that's a big puzzle
afterwards.
piece. And then one of those pieces just wasn't fitting.
What?
I'm always open to having a discussion with someone who is holding a wrong belief like this.
Okay,
I'm not. The evidence is so much. Nobody wants to be a flat earther, but if you showed me incontrovertible evidence, I would definitely go back. Who wants the ridicule?
Hello.
Where do you want to get from the discussion with the other
Welcome to...
I'd like to tear them to pieces.
We're just reacting to dumb fuck Republicans. Now we're watching flat earthers versus scientists. Because clearly that's debatable.
I'm Jim Underdown, Executive Director of the Center for Inquiry West in Los Angeles and the chair of the CFI Investigations Group.
I'm Spencer Marks, one of the senior members of the CFI Investigations Group, Science Advocate.
I am Ali Nayeri. I'm a theoretical physicist, and I'm with the University of Irvine.
I am Wendell Walton. I am a Chief Learning Officer for a young startup.
I'm Shelley Lewis. I'm a graduate of West Point, critical thinker, and jumped out of airplanes.
My name is Dan Glattman. I work as Dan the Waterman in the drinking water filtration industry, and I'm a truth seeker.
A truth seeker? Based? Spoiler by the way, I've seen this and I don't know anything yet, and it's a fucking joke. Is it bad?
Only step forward if this is true for you. I believe the Earth was created by a higher power.
No.
Well, I've been a Christian for 30 years, so the Bible is a flat earth book.
Wait, you
have to
can't
take
hear
it
me?
literally. Like, for example, in Isaiah, when it talks about how the earth is like a clay wax seal that's stamped with upturned edges, that's just not some fancy story. That's a simile. It is like.
Right, absolutely. And in Isaiah it talks about too, and I'm a Christian, he who sits upon the circle of the earth. There's a difference between a circle and a ball.
Well, exactly. Yeah. If you look at the original Hebrew, it means disc. There's over 200 scriptures in the Bible that point to the flat earth.
Sorry. Cool.
So there's no...
Number one, sorry, before we get on, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Just because the Bible says that it's a flat disc, it doesn't mean like it's metaphorical. Oh, when you're back. Oh, okay, cool. I'll try and pause every single time I speak. Thank you. Cool. But yeah, no, in regards to like this whole thing with flat earth and religion, if you use religion to talk about flat earth, that's all fine and dandy. I don't give a shit. But like by you saying the flat, it's a disc, it's just
and
stupid.
That you need God or some higher power to create the earth or the universe is very old, and was initially posited by people of a pre-scientific age.
So the scientists don't believe in God. So the brown one and the guy talking now and the other guy in the blue shirt on the left, they all don't believe in God, and the other three believe in God.
Since then, we have learned quite a bit about the universe coming into existence, when that happened. Modern humans don't get their cosmology, they don't get their physics, they don't get their knowledge of the universe from the Bible or any ancient text.
It's sort of like the God of the gaps. Once, people used to believe that lightning was God's wrath and throwing these lightning bolts, but once we understood it was a natural process, God shrank a little bit more because now...
Oh yeah, for anyone that doesn't know what the God of the gaps is, it explains it there, but just in case like you need it in simpler terms, it just means that basically any gap in knowledge that we don't have, for example, the beginning of the universe, we fill it in with God. Only a couple more sleeps into all the leftists find out how out of touch they all are again. Why have all the Republicans come here? I don't understand. Wait, who's Wagonator? No one's told me their name. So I don't know who these people are.
We couldn't attribute those lightning bolts to God. We had to attribute that to the real science. And the other thing, the point about the Bible specifically for me is, why is that one particular text
like
the
Daddy
correct
Ron
one?
Cynthia.
You choose to believe that, and that's fine. But there's so many other writings and so many other books, so why weren't they correct? Why is just the Bible correct?
Well, what you'll find in a lot of these ancient religions
is
they're all flat earth religions. All their cosmology goes back to being a flat earth with an enclosed system. So it's not just the Bible that teaches this. It's many different.
Wait, if in physics and science, gaps are filled in with hypothetical formula ideas which are often disproved later. Wait, hold up. No. Wait, Wagonator, that's not true. Yeah, they are hypotheticals, but these hypotheticals are based on evidence that they've worked years and years and years on. For example, in terms of the gaps in knowledge in regards to those that use God to explain it, you have no way to prove that. That doesn't make sense. Stephen Crowder talking about on Troll Small Lefty. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. I would like to consider myself educated, so these guys can come. That doesn't make sense. Number one, these hypothetical formulas are again proven to be correct. Even if they're not proven to be correct, they have some substantial evidence to suggest that they do exist. So I don't understand your point. That doesn't make sense. Physics and science, the gaps are filled with hypothetical formula, but this hypothetical formula is based on theory. That's based on years and years of analysis and maths and evidence. So
religious books.
So one problem I have is to trying to explain phenomena happening in nature by holy books. Those are religious books. Those are not books of science. And it is wrong to infer or deduct scientific readings out of those books.
My name is Wen.
I'm not too smart for religion. There's just no substantial evidence for religion. I have a couple of other. Yes, that would be amazing if you don't mind. Yeah, if that's perfect. I don't know how this works, so knowing people would help me out a lot. That would be amazing. Thank you. But yeah, no. Wagonator, in regards to watching leftists, I'm not too smart for religion. I'm anti-religion. Not anti-religion. I'm anti-theist. Okay, thank you. I'm anti-theist. I don't believe in God, and even if God did exist, I would oppose him purely because he is a dictator. Or I don't know what you consider God to be. That they are a dictator if we're talking about a Judeo-Christian God. But if we're talking about just a higher power, I don't believe in that either. So, I'm not a theist either.
I am a logical,
biblically based and scientific flat earther. I didn't start out, and no one starts.
Hell doesn't exist. Hell does not exist.
As a flat earther, but I had a lot of questions. So I actually got to the point where I had to go out and put my own eyeballs on it. So we went out to an observation at Salton Sea, and things just didn't add up down there. So we've gone back probably a dozen times, and I can guarantee you that there is no curvature over distance.
Why has this become a religion thing?
The internet has played an important role in confirming my view of this topic.
That's the problem.
Shut
we
up,
have the
Cynthia.
advantage of information today that's out.
Yeah, see, this is the issue. The flat earthers are getting their knowledge from the internet, which is fine and dandy to do when the stuff you look at has, like, you know, references of people who have studied this intensely for years. These guys probably watched one YouTube video and was like, yeah, flat earth. If you really want to get into subjectivity, no one can prove that I exist because perception in itself is subjective. It's skewed. So you can't prove to me that I exist. Sorry to you know, mention that, but I don't know if God is real, but if he does, I hate him. Man, lol, being a leftist sounds like a pure combination of anger and depression. No, I'm not angry. I am depressed, yeah, but I'm not angry. How do you know that you're not dreaming? That's exactly my point. I'm saying you can't prove to me whether I am dreaming or not. Usually on most nights has been on a 3-day break, which is unusual, but that's the first time I've seen that happen. Great dude, very intelligent, seems very brushed up on his theory. Okay, I'll make sure to... Being a right winger sounds like pure denial fully. Wait, if you... hold up. Lotus, if you don't mind, could you... Oh, how do I use action? I'm going to add you as a friend, if that's okay with you. Fuck's sake. Oh my god. There we go. Use action. And then... Oh shit, it's weird that the DM shows up on the stream chat. Yeah, that's why I was so confused. Yeah, I'm going to add you as a friend. If you don't mind, send it to me privately, if that's okay. Thank you. Oh yeah, no, that's because I've got Chatterino. Hold up. I'm going to put it on my other screen tomorrow. I just don't have it yet. Read the Tao Te Ching if you're interested in these topics. I found it really eye-opening. Okay, sure. Thank you. I'll definitely read into that. I love this type of stuff. I think it's really interesting as well.
Side of channels 2, 4, and 7.
I don't know
and
God
the few
exists.
networks
God
that are
doesn't
corporately
exist.
owned. It's
That's
pretty
my
easy
point.
to say YouTube isn't research, but when you spend enough time, you're picking up quite a bit. And with the discussion groups, panels, we've gone against opposition. We've opposed ourselves.
That's fine. I'm not gonna be
surprisingly
racist or
enough,
anything.
Flat Earth
Yeah.
is its own worst enemy. So it's not that easy for us to come to consensus. And we find that consensus
Yeah, I
is
just modded you,
orchestrated
if that's
and
okay,
not actually
'cause-
scientific in any way.
You know, my grandfather used to tell me growing up, never believe anything you read in the newspaper, right? He told that to me. Now, with the age of the internet, it's like, you know, how much of this misinformation are you getting there? And when you have like eyewitnesses
You go
taking...
to hell, you will suffer there. Listen, if God, like I said, if God does exist, I'm going to hell regardless of. I don't give a shit. I really don't care. I die. I don't, honestly, couldn't give less of a
something,
shit.
you do have to take everything.
Eastern mystics describe two planes of thinking, the rational and the intuitive. Rational is evidence or logic based on what you can see or feel. Intuitive knowledge was stuff you just know or can feel, etc. Okay. Oh, that's actually really interesting. Let's go on the two planes. So according to Lao Tzu, I think, science and religion operated in different planes and didn't need to conflict. Yeah, to me it does. It does. It's just because my video is just where you are, so you can't read the chat that you're writing in. Okay, I like that's really interesting. Cynthia, wait. So in regards to well, they can coexist, but in regards to science, would you not say that even if you have intuition that something is there, you would still have to prove it to make it rational, no? Or are you saying something else? Sorry, I'm like keep pausing this.
with a grain of salt. That's why, because of my my multimedia background, I knew that all that stuff could be faked. You know, take it into Photoshop, take it into After Effects.
Bye. Hope you had a good time.
Okay, this is at the core of the issue of why there are so many flat earth believers out there right now. The problem is the information from someone who decides to start a website or produce a YouTube video is not reliable. When I have a toothache, I go to a dentist. When my car breaks down, I go to a mechanic. When you have questions about cosmology, you should go to an astrophysicist, you should go to a physicist, you should go to people who have spent years and years studying these ideas, not some 6-minute YouTube video. There is a percentage of people that if they saw a YouTube video that was not within their scientific chops to refute on the face of it, would believe anything out there.
One of the things I will say is NASA.gov has their own documents out there that we get to vet, which is through the Freedom of Information Act.
I would definitely.
And would you agree that NASA documents, if they're on display, that we should be able to go and research inside there?
NASA is not proving that the Earth is flat.
Well, they say it in 14 of the documents.
You should read what NASA says, and you should listen to what NASA
I
says.
would love to see your NASA evidence.
Yeah, NASA. I'm sorry. I've read NASA files in regards to the moon. There is not. I've not read all of them, of course. I'm also 18. I'm not fucking a genius in physics, but from my understanding and what I've read from them, it all proves. Send private DM that doesn't show up on here. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. So for me, it doesn't show up the messages that I sent you, but for some reason it shows the messages that you send me. Give me a sec. I'll quickly fix that for you. Let me do that. Let me go there. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. I'm using a Mac because there you go. Okay, yeah. I think if you message me now, it should be fine. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm learning. I promise. I'm trying to get away from Mac. I just can't afford anything else right now. There we go. Okay, it's removed now. It shouldn't be on the live anymore. Perfect. There. That should be good. Test. Yeah. It did not come up on the chat, I don't think. It hasn't come up for me. It is hidden now. Yeah, there we go. Poggers. There we go. Perfect. Now we can continue watching the video.
And said the Earth is
it's
flat.
only their contradictory issues
Okay,
that bring us here.
We're all familiar with the Earthrise photo, right? The Earth is rising over the moon. We're all familiar with it. That's NASA. You can go out to NASA's site. You can download the original, right?
I already know what you're going to ask.
So you bring up the luminance on it, and you can see where it's cut out and pasted there.
They're showing us doctored images that are clearly doctored. The blue marble is a very famous image from 1972. When you talk to the artist from NASA, his name is Robert Simmons, he talks about exactly how it was created from data, and it's not a photograph whatsoever. He added clouds.
Let me explain.
He added a highlight of the sun.
If you take, on your phone, most phones have that panoramic image. When you do that, you're taking a series of pictures, and the phone cleverly stitches that
just
together.
saying how it's presented. It's presented as a real
So when
photograph.
NASA takes real photos and they either clean them up for color or they stitch them together so it's one large image, it doesn't mean they're CGI.
You're talking about composites.
I love kebabs. Oh yeah, I don't know, again, so in regards to the emojis and the emotes, I don't know how to add them in because I know some work and some don't. So I need to also figure that out.
I'm what you call a globe denier.
A globe denier?
You could even get me into a virtual construct if I can't find the borders myself.
What shape would you say you think the Earth is?
It appears to me to be a stationary plane. as opposed to the vastness of infinity of space, I would find it to be an ice plain where we have a localized sun and our environment thrives there. You know, these particular people have misled us on television. This is a brilliant opportunity to speak. We've been suppressed, censored by mainstream media. Alternative media is just a thing of beauty for me.
I view the other side as uneducated.
I'm running.
Very uneducated.
Huh?
They think we are uneducated?
I'm running for this.
Well, they certainly think they're educated.
And they're following quite a bit of the university system, what we call scientism.
Right, scientism.
Obviously, is the belief in what's written, where we tend to be exploring in the field with physical properties, not theories of any kind. We're using actual measurements that are calculated not by our guidelines, but the guidelines of science as we know it. I can only hope they're uneducated as opposed to disingenuous.
Well, that's the other thing too, because we know that it was on a large scale, the government has been disingenuous, and they're pushing a narrative, right? So it's hard for us. I mean, I'm sure that you've met people too. It's like, look, are you you haven't looked into it yet?
What they believe, they don't believe that they'd fall off if they travel to the edge of the earth. What they're saying is, at the edge of the earth, there's the barrier, and that barrier is the South and the North Pole. Because you know how this whole idea of, oh, if you go to the South Pole, you know, there's just these big walls of snow, you can't travel past them or whatever, because if you do, you'll die. That's what they believe, which I think is completely ridiculous and stupid.
Or are you a shill? Are you part of a disinformation campaign?
I don't think you guys are uneducated. I think you're wrongly educated.
I think the problem with what I've seen in the flat earth crowd is that it's not that they're undereducated, but they, instead of looking at evidence and letting the evidence guide to where the ultimate conclusion is, they start with a conclusion and then they try to cherry pick evidence to support their pre-drawn conclusion. They cast away all the bits of evidence that actually is contrary to their belief system.
I think that you're very well educated as well as you are, Jim.
Certainly Ali is. He's probably got the best education of all of us.
Exactly, and he paid for it too. But more and more professionals are coming on board. They're starting to question their reality. So the thing of it is once you start to really take a hard look at the evidence, and you are unafraid of just standing for the truth wherever that may lead you, then people end up becoming flat earthers.
I'm hoping to be able to tell our side of the story from the inside out. So many times.
Hold up, wait. Bruh. Fuck's sake. Sorry, I was watching a video.
Flat earthers are depicted from the outside in, and I want to be able to share with others empirical data that proves the earth is not what we've been told.
I have changed my mind at some point about this topic.
No, I've never changed my mind. It's stupid to
So
think
when
that.
I was 12 years old, I went to space camp, and I met Alan B. Shepard.
Oh, nice.
Yep, and I wanted to be an astronaut, and I wanted to be the first woman to walk the moon.
Oh,
so for me, I'm a glober. I went into this completely wanting it to be true.
Well, that's so different.
And my husband told me, he saw this thing about the fake moon landing. And I was like, you're absolutely crazy. There's no way that the moon landings are fake. And then in 2010, my husband was killed. And so I never really developed that until around 2014 when Flat Earth kind of came back up. And that little voice inside my head said, remember the fake moon landings? Remember?
That makes me so sad, I cry.
That was brought to my attention. And then I started really critically analyzing that. And I would say, just looking at that evidence, if they can lie about the moon landings, they can certainly lie about pictures and satellites and other things. And so I started going down that rabbit hole of studying. So that was my influence from my husband.
How many lies does it take to make a liar, right?
And being ridiculed for being inquisitive is pretty tough on us. I wouldn't say that I've changed my mind because my mind isn't set. NASA is solely designed to change my mind. It is, from its inception, from its discovery, has been a television program. It's been a space program.
My political views? So I would consider myself a communist. What type of communist? I don't know. Me personally, and flat earthers are below low hanging fruit. I love that. Yeah, no, I'm personally a communist. I believe in communism, and I do believe in the Liber theory of value, and to an extent Marxian economics. Still trying to read more currently right now. I wouldn't say I'm the most educated leftist out there, but I would like to consider myself somewhat educated in regards to, you know, politics generally and economics. And I'm trying to read into philosophy. I have no clue where to start, but, you know, trying.
To sell us on something that they've yet to actually show us. Show me a globe spinning with clouds and a moon. Show me home, and I think I could shut up easily. I think I could shut up.
The timing of your conversions is interesting to me. 20 years ago,
Okay, so in regards to communism specifically, it eradicates the issues we see with capitalism. For example, irregardless of, imagine race and gender didn't exist for a second. If we just look at this system in itself, it already causes an issue because there's two different classes, the bourgeoisie and the proletariat. So it causes this distinction between the two. It's not necessarily one is better than the other. It just means that there is the rich and then there is a poor. And that's a problem because what we see is the rich are always exploiting the poor. For example, the CEOs of the company are always, exploiting the labor of their employees. Because, for example, when we look at Amazon, we see that his net worth roundabout is 70 billion. Let's say he didn't invest all that in stocks and that was the amount in the bank. He would have to. What would be fair is if he paid his employees a fair share of the amount that they worked for said 70 billion. That would be fair. However, that's not the case because under capitalism, the CEO keeps that money and either invests it or uses it for his own. For example, with Amazon, we see it's mostly spent in stocks or other things like real estate and stuff. So also communism is kind of like, but aren't we sort of part of the bourgeoisie? We are indirectly exploiting cheap labor in third world. Well, yeah, but that's the thing. We're trying to, as communists, we try and eradicate that. Of course, I'm never going to say that communism is going to work today. I'm just a communist. I wouldn't say it would work today, but I do believe that it could work later on in life. We are definitely exploiting cheap labor, not just indirectly, directly exploiting cheap labor in China and India and other countries. The thing is, in my opinion, what we would need to do is, number one, help these individuals out in those countries, make sure that they are better off. I also believe in a revolution, but I'm not too. But why eradicate it? It helps us. That's true. It does help us, but that's only because of the capitalism and the money. If we were to remove any monetary value in regards to currency, because under communism you remove class, state, and currency, as well as the commodity form. If you were to eradicate all that, these things could still be made under communism. For example, clothes could still be made under communism. It doesn't just stop happening. It does help us, and we understand that. And under communism, it will still help us. It just means now people are doing what they would want instead of being forced to work. For example, nowadays everyone is forced to work or they die. It's kind of how it works. So, Yeah, but that's my thing with communism. I also believe in Marxian. What incentive would there be to make next-gen iPhones under communism? It would be the happiness and your overall helping the community, because the community always wants to be innovative. So if you make next-gen iPhone that is better than another one, it increases, it's a net positive to society. For example, when you talk about gaming, yeah, even though gaming doesn't directly help individuals in any way, shape or form, it does, for example, it's subjective to the individual, of course, it does, for example, help certain people get out of a very monotone lifestyle, which would, again, be a net positive to society. If we cannot exploit third world for cheap parts, how would we get the resources? We don't need to exploit for these parts. We would just get them. So under communism, there are no borders. There's also no countries. Countries don't exist. You can freely move about the world without any issues. Why are they? Because empathy is a concept. And existence occurs beyond your own experience. Yeah. Why would we need to? We don't necessarily need to exploit. The only reason we exploit now is because there's a monetary value. We don't necessarily need to exploit. We can just, under communism, like I stated before, leave out empathy from. Well, you can't. That's the thing. Human morals play a big part into this. Exploitation isn't, empathy is an integral part of the question. If you're asking a moral question, yeah. In regards to third world countries as well, instead of exploiting them, why don't we mutually help each other out? For example, we use their resources and they use ours, but that's not necessarily the case. We just use theirs. They don't get any. There's no net positive for third world countries that help first world ones, specifically UK and US. If you don't experience empathy, then you're a sociopath, and will use words against the good of society anyway. If you have to look at it pragmatically, yeah. No, I don't like the idea of eradicating borders. Many countries have lasted thousands of years. Seems kind of sad. No. So, I don't know how to explain. I think what we forget is, I'm talking about physical borders. For example, the distinction between Palestine and, let's say, Egypt would still exist. They're still two different places of the world, because again, even if we remove borders, we are still going to need to name these places things, or we won't know where to go. There would still be a name associated to said area. However, no one is going to be stopped from going into said area. For example, if I wanted to travel to Palestine, I would be able to freely. I'm talking about physical borders. Well, at least that's what I mean. I can't talk for all communists. But yeah, no, that's my whole thing with it. I don't know, personally, I'm still reading up. I'm not the most educated, like I said, so I don't know much. I can answer some questions, not all, but I'll try my hardest. Your concept of country is a tool used by the controlling dynasty in the area that you lived for thousands of years to justify wars centering. That's my anarchist speaking, don't mind me. Control over resources and population. Like I said, again, yeah, it's the idea of physical, a physical border that I'm completely against, because again, that insinuates that, for example, if you walk into this country and you're not from the place, you shouldn't be here. Also insinuates that this area owns this place, which I also disagree with heavily. I don't believe that's correct whatsoever. If I would consider myself any type of communist, I'm gonna say either a post-Marxist or maybe a communalist. Is its people, not the state exactly. Anyways, we are living the best time in human history in the West, so I am kind of suspicious when it comes to changing the capitalist system. Well, it depends in what terms you're talking about. I guess you can say capitalism is better than feudalism in some ways. Yeah, but you cannot say it's good, because there are still issues that come along with capitalism that we cannot ignore. For example, the class issue. It also plays into a part. It also then creates a race issue, which is what we can see happen in America right now. Well, not just America, in many other countries. It also causes a divide in everything, socioeconomically speaking as well. The best time in human history with massive climate crisis and insidious rise of reviving fascism and racial tension all around the world. No problem, please continue consuming luxury goods. Yeah. Ah, this is so funny. I love you, Lotus. This is hilarious. Yes, there is, but if you look up different measures like life expectancy, in terms of what? GDP? Yeah, but it depends, because there's no country in this world that's communist. All countries in this world are capitalist or state capitalist. What I live for. Yeah, all countries in this world are capitalist. There is not one that doesn't uphold some sort of capitalist system. In regards to even when you look at the Nordic countries like Sweden and Sweden, Norway, Switzerland, all these countries, yes, even though they might seem good, there's still issues. Which is why I'm suspicious of changing. I can understand why people would be suspicious of changing it. I understand why, but I just think changing it would definitely be pretty good. I guess, yeah, but we could say the same thing during feudalism. That's because due to external pressure from interfering warlike capitalist regimes. Yes, it has been tried and destroyed many times over. Yeah, the USSR, China was a bit different depending on whose rule you look at it. But Cuba as well. All these countries that attempted socialism failed miserably, either due to American intervention or due to other issues of being a socially attempting country in a capitalist world. The USSR is a big issue. The reason they failed is because they still had to trade with other countries, but because they, eradicated currency, they had to trade food, which is what caused the famine. But yeah. I personally, Lotus, what do you consider yourself then? Where do you consider yourself an anarcho-communist, or would you say you're just left an anarchist but left? Or maybe we should just continue the status quo until climate change gets us. Basically, but that's the issue. Why are we waiting until people die for it to change? I don't see why that's the case. Or when people are finally getting harmed. Because by the time we need to change, it would be too late to change. Why not do that now? I'm nebulous in my ideology, really. At my most moderate, I'm at least a socialist, I'd say. At my most extreme, I'm probably okay. Bordering at fully blown illegalist. I like that. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, again, like I said, I don't really know what I am, personally. I'm still reading theory. Definitely not a tank, Could never be me. Nope. Nah, that's not me. But yeah, I fully blown. I personally want to, I would love to see things go well. And Anton is just an acceleration by the looks of it. Yeah, accelerationism is very, very cringe. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm just chilling. I still haven't sent that other link, by the way, because I still have half a. Honestly, take your time. I might asking some questions. Yeah, cool. If you have any more questions, Anton, go ahead. This is a lot of fun. I've got 11 minutes before I'm gonna end the thing anyway. So if it means I interact with you guys, that's good. This is my first stream. I actually really like it. It was really enjoyable. I want to start doing it more often, but I don't know. I need to get more people to watch. You bouncing so soon, brother? Oh, it's because it's it's because it's 12 a.m. over here. I can stay a bit longer, I guess, till 1 a.m. Stay for 3 hours. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Stay till 1 a.m. Hold on, I'll be back. I really need to go to the toilet. Give me a sec. Oh, okay, that's fine. I was gonna say. I think of. Guess where I'm from? I like me some monarchy from time to time. Representative monarchy. Fuck the monarchy. American monarchists are cringe. I'm not American. I didn't say you were. I was thinking of Caitlyn. Oh yeah, Caitlyn Bennett is so fucking cringe. And saying stuff is cringe is kind of cringe, to be honest. Oh my god, Anton, you guys. This is really funny. I like it. Yeah, this is good. I like this. I'm really confused though. I still need to figure out how to work Twitch a bit more with OBS. Beta, you're cringe. Cynthia, so are you. I'm staying here for 1 more hour. If I could, I would FaceTime, like talk to people and like debate them, but I don't know how to do that. That'd be fun to do as well, debating people on here. I can help you sort some stuff out. Yeah, if that's okay, that would be really helpful. I'm just really new to this. It took me 3 weeks just to figure out how to get the desktop audio to work. I'm not planning a stream tomorrow, but I could do one if I wanted to. Maybe we should just go back. Definitely not. No, definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely not back to feudalism. Feudalism was cringe. I do have a Discord, yeah. But do you want me to create a new? I don't know how to work Discord either. See, I'm completely new to this. Yeah. I really need to learn how to use stuff. This is so bad. That's cool. I'll hook one up for you shortly. This will be my first time helping to do some initial setup on a stream, but thank you so much. That'd be really helpful. I'm really sorry. I'm such a newbie to this, but this is actually really fun. I actually really like doing this. I was gonna start doing gaming, but I'm on a MacBook Air, so can't do that. I need to wait until I get myself a PC. Just got some Clash. Just gonna. That'll go down well. I'm so bad at Clash of Clans. I've still got my account from like 3 years ago, but I've not used it since. Oh, don't forget the video, by the way. I want you to see. Oh yes, actually, now that you say that, let me go scroll up to see what it was called. Do all Trump voters think the same? Wait, which one would you rather me watch, Trump or Biden? Who do you think will win? I think it's really difficult. I think Biden is winning the popular vote currently, but I don't know about the Electoral College. Don't forget the video, by the way. You want to react? Let's say the Trump one because content. Okay, cool. New trumpets. What was the video called? Do all Trump voters think the same? Do all Trump oh my god, voters think the same. Biden voters are reasonable, so less outrageous things to be mad. Oh, there's people of color. Wait, the Jubilee, which one? There's two. 2020 election? So the one that was made last week, or the one made a year ago? The one made a year ago? Last week, okay. Oh, there's two parts. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Wait a second, it's gonna lag for us. Like,
what are you doing?
I'm investing in all things.
I feel like society today, especially millennials, we're addicted to feeling sensitive and offended. Like literally people's nipples get hard when they're freaking offended by something.
With the election upon us, millions of Americans are gearing up to cast their vote for the next president of the United States. While some people will be voting independent, we wanted to hear from Trump voters and Biden voters about why they are voting for their candidate. In Spectrum, we bring everyday people together for authentic discussions that represent what's happening now. These discussions should not be anyone's sole source forming opinions on important issues. Please do your own research, seek out experts, push yourself outside your bubble, and have empathy. Thanks for watching.
Hello, my name's Rachel. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I've been a conservative my whole life, but my views have definitely evolved, and I'm happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Casey. I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I actually work in politics and have watched very closely kind of the Republican Party turn from Republicanism to kind of Trump Republicanism, and I'm excited to talk about that.
Hi, my name's Noah. I'm a teenage conservative from the great state of Georgia. I've been a conservative for my whole life, and I'm really looking forward to this discussion.
My name is Malik. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I just turned 23. I was always economical, even when I was very little. Now I'm a medical student in the state of Georgia.
Hi, my name is Amy. When it comes to social issues and everything, I could be considered a little bit more liberal, but I do support our president.
Can I just say that's a contradiction in and of itself? You cannot be socially left and economically right. That does not make sense whatsoever. That doesn't make sense. How could you say you're for Black Lives Matter? Oh, sorry. I'll come closer to the mic. Yeah, I know that's a big issue. Some people were telling me before. Thank you. Yeah, in regards to like being socially left and economically right, it just doesn't make sense. It's a contradiction. I'll take down the volume a tiny bit because that's you can't say you support Black Lives Matter but then also support the people that directly oppress minorities and black people. It doesn't make sense. By you wanting less taxes, you're not helping those that are poor. So you cannot say you are socially left. That doesn't make sense. Because if you were socially left, you would be socially right too. Economically left, sorry.
So, yeah.
Hi, my name's Alicia. I'm 20 years old. My mom immigrated to America from Nicaragua as a political refugee. And then my father's side of the family immigrated from Mexico. And I am also 8 months pregnant. And I'm super excited to be a first-time mom.
Congrats.
Trump's behavior can be offensive. Rachel.
Somewhat disagree.
Casey?
Agreed.
Noah.
Agree.
Ami.
Agree.
Alicia.
Strongly agree.
Agree.
I think that Trump gets a lot of flack more than other presidents for offending people because he is not politically correct. The politically correct culture has been shoved down our throats. And the reason why people like his rhetoric is because he doesn't put up with that toxic culture.
The reason I said agree is because while he hasn't directly offended me, I do think some of his rhetoric can be offensive. I mean, I'm sure Stormy Daniels was pretty offended to be called.
Federal judge throws out Stormy Daniels' lawsuit versus Trump. Trump is entitled to full legal fees. Great, now I can go after Horseface and her third rate. Oh wow, Jesus.
Horseface, even though it was epic. When it comes to a lot of his policies, I tend to agree with him. What he's done with the taxes, I think we can all agree on.
Can I just say, Trump isn't the first Republican to decrease taxes. Every single Republican president has done that. It's not a surprise. Like, you can't say just attribute that to him. Right, okay, see, Anton, the thing is, with that's, yeah, it affects those that are poor, but then what we see happening due to unconscious bias and individuals, it becomes a race thing, which is what we can see happening in the black community in America. Is because of their past, it's become a race thing.
If we could just take his Twitter account away sometimes and just limit what he says or get a good writer in there for his tweets, I think we'd be in a way better place.
I don't like either.
I
would say
enjoy
Biden.
President Trump's tweets. I have notifications set up.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and I don't even factor in the rhetoric when it comes to President Trump anymore because of all the results that he's gotten. And if that's how he has to behave in order to achieve the results, I'm totally fine for it. I see a fighter, and that's what I like about him.
The one time he offended me, I quickly found out that it was from fake news. So that was in the beginning of the election when he was running in 2016. It was the disabled thing.
Right, but unconscious bias doesn't just exist. So, for example, it's the idea of microaggressions, right? Microaggressions aren't necessarily something you're born with, and unconscious bias is also something you're not born with. That's based on race. For example, you don't just hate black people because you are born to hate black people. That's because there was a certain way that you grew up, that in your mind it's become a normal thing that you don't think about. That's what unconscious bias is. So in regards to, capitalism, it's caused this issue of unconscious bias because it tells you that, oh yeah, there is a distinction between people in class, for example, and then once you've distinguished it between class, you want to distinguish it further. That's what happens.
Like that little thing that offended me, but that quickly dissipated when I found out that's what he does. Everything else that I have heard him say from this point, I haven't felt personally offended, but when I hear him say certain things, I'm like, I could hear the screeching. I could hear, you could just hear like the freaking people freaking out.
Yeah, and one thing that I say kind of offended me that I kind of didn't like was when the Hollywood Access tape grabbed him by the, I didn't really like that. But then as I thought about it more, I thought he wasn't running for president. He was a Democrat at the time. And this has nothing to do with who he is today.
He was talking about groupies.
Yeah, and to me, like, when I actually looked at the context and everything, like, yeah, no, I know who he's talking about. He's not talking about, oh, Ami, I could just grab. No, you can't do that to Ami. Like,
see, this is again also my big issue with Republicans. They always, my point is that in a 100% white country, capitalism would still just target the poor. So in theory, it's based on class. Yeah, but again, then you're assuming that country is 100% white, but that's not the case for any country. So imagine a country is just all white, right? There are also different distinguishers. For example, in regards to Protestant and Catholics. In religion, you can also get into political opinions as well. That's the thing. It's like, regardless of whether we talk about race or not, there would always be another thing to distinguish people by. So if it wasn't race, it would be religion. If it wasn't religion, it would be socioeconomics. If it isn't socioeconomics, but under capitalism, it's also it's always socioeconomics. So there's different things. It will always be something different.
I'd be able to do that.
I'm gonna hit you with a backhand over there.
Exactly. Like, he's talking about the women that are like not just any woman. He was talking about particular women.
And think of when
excusing his behavior. He said what he said.
He said that stuff too on Access Hollywood. By that time, Donald Trump was...
Again, but the capitalism lets you put forward those capitalism lets you exploit these specific biases. So for example, let's say under communism, right, you didn't like someone for their certain religion, it wouldn't matter, because if you didn't like them for their religion wouldn't exist anyway. So it doesn't that's the thing. We're in under communism, you've literally got a society in which class doesn't exist, and even religion is a part of that class. Say yeah. Yeah. So, and also also capitalism lets you have these type of biases. If we were not brought up to have these type of biases under capitalism, they wouldn't exist. For example, we wouldn't think that a lot of people think that poor people commit crime, which is statistically true, but we wouldn't think this if it wasn't for capitalism, because there would be no currency, so poor people wouldn't exist.
Being talked about in rap videos. He was on Comedy Central during those roasts. He was in Hollywood. We know who he was talking about. So when all these people, especially in the Black community, when you dare use the grab him by the...
If he had been black and said it in a rap song, everyone... Yeah, sing that song. Wait, he's a Republican?
So
no, we disagree.
Yeah, I was only ever offended by Trump once, and this was whenever he said something about like Mexicans being like animals or like something like that. And so I was like, oh my gosh, it's so offensive. Like, why would he say that? And then my stepdad was like, did you read like everything that he said?
No, again, capitalism does encourage all of this because it lets the human brain, not the human brain, but it lets people think it's okay. Like I said before, under capitalism, it's okay for people to be poor, which then causes an unconscious bias in people to think that poor people are lazy or bad. We can say the same thing about race due to the distinguishes in America in regards to. I was going to make about how in medieval Britain the societal tiers of race, where when Anglo-Saxon, then Danes, and then native Brythonic and Gaelic people, something in all white countries, there will always be outlying groups. But then again, capitalism wasn't around then. But back then it was a different issue, wasn't it? It wasn't necessarily capitalism, but it was like tribal behavior. So yeah, it was the idea of having your own people, and you need to protect that. And also back then it was like very aggressive. Like it was all about fighting and winning and stuff. So it's different times. Like nowadays under capitalism, like I was saying before, in America we can see that the reason why Black Americans are in the places they are is because of, like I would say, is because of capitalism. It's because it lets people distinguish between groups, and these different distinctions causes these issues. Again, these human biases wouldn't exist under communism purely because the human brain, again, when I talk about unconscious bias, can be taught. Just because it's unconscious doesn't mean it's not taught. Because you're not born with an unconscious bias, you are taught it. Same thing with it's the idea of microaggressions. Well, yes, it's an indirect consequence, but my point is that capitalism, that it doesn't. Yeah, but see, even if it's an indirect consequence, it's still a consequence of capitalism. Oh, I didn't even see this, by the way. You're welcome, man. I've been spending a lot of time just trolling smaller political streams and arguing with mad racists for a few hours. It's fine.
So I went back and he was talking about like the MS-13 gangs that were in Mexico and stuff. So I like kind of learned a lot about fake news and how a lot of people are like sensitive to his like rhetoric and what he says.
What do you think? I feel like society today, especially millennials, we're addicted to feeling sensitive and offended. Like literally people's nipples get hard when they're freaking offended by something.
I think I know why that is. It's because if I'm offended, if I'm a victim, I get more attention. It's like there's a hierarchy of victimhood. Well, I'm black, but you're black, and a woman. So that means you get more power. It's like in the left, it's like the more victimized you are, the more you should be heard, the more power you should be given. And to me, I think that's pretty sad.
Systemic racism is a problem in America.
Oh, let's see this one. This one's going to be interesting.
Rachel.
Strongly disagree.
Casey?
Somewhat disagree.
Noah?
I said somewhat agree.
Hammy? Alicia?
I said strongly disagree.
Agreed.
Systemic implies that it's built into the DNA of a country, and I just don't think that that was why this country was founded. It wasn't founded to be a racist country.
Systemic is really that there's laws in place.
Question, just so I understand what systemic means. Systemic means, just in case systemic means when a like society or a system in society, whether it's law or not, understands something. Right? Systematic is like built into law. Systemic is when a group of individuals in society enact something. For example, like stop and searches. Wasn't there a black woman who also disagreed? Yeah, there was. No, I think the black woman said somewhat agree. But yeah, no. In regards to systemic racism, my understanding of systemic racism is that it's when individuals or society enact something. For example, like stop and frisks. It wasn't necessarily law, but it still happened, which makes it systemic. Same thing with like segregation and the socioeconomic history of black Americans. That's all systemic as well, because even though it might not be law now, it's still enacted in today's society.
That prevent people of color from excelling. And while in the past there definitely have been laws that were systemically racist, there aren't any.
Wait, I kind of want to read the comments real quick. Did she just say America isn't racist because Obama was a black man? Okay, fuck it. I don't want to spoil it. Systemic racism is the same thing as institutional. Yeah. Wait, so Yo-Yo, was my definition like somewhat correct?
People of color that excel in America, for example, like Barack Obama, he's like a black president. You also have like AOC, who was a bartender. She's a person of color, and she literally just like came up and became like, a House of Representative.
Bitch, I don't really like AOC that much because I don't really agree with her policies. Goes a bit deeper than okay, that's fine. I'll probably read a bit more on it then. Did she just say AOC worked her fucking ass off to get where she was? What are you on about? What?
Can I ask everybody this real quick? Joe Biden's 94 crime bill that specifically targeted people of color, you wouldn't consider that to be systematic, something that was put into place that is going to target the breakdown of the black family? Sorry to be like military, but there's some skid marks. America has some like total skid marks.
Yeah, there has been because I'm studying history and I'm taking an Old South class, so we're just talking about slavery. So I'm not denying that there hasn't been systemic slavery before, but in 2020 today, there's not systemic racism.
I think the only argument you could say against systemic racism is that it's not systemic racism, it's classism, which I could agree with to an extent, but I think it still does kind of exist in a way.
In the 90s, 94, that was the year I was born. Not too long ago, and the residue, the effects that it had within 2 generations is, it looks pretty structured to me, you know what I mean?
I really like what you had to say with the 1994 crime bill, because that's exactly where I was going with it. That's why I somewhat agree. And the other policy that I think is also really important would be school choice. In the schools where I was growing up, the way they teach history and the way they teach the spirit, that they were teaching.
Spirit! Bro, I felt like in the classroom.
You are determined that you will fail. You cannot succeed. You will never make it. You are determined.
Wait, I just missed that. Hold up. Wait. I just missed what you said.
Not systemic racism.
Oh, thank you,
Lotus. Just in the 90s, 94, that was the year I was born. Not too long ago, and the residue, the effects that it had within 2 generations is, it looks pretty structured to me, you know what I mean?
I really like what you had to say with the 1994 crime bill, because that's exactly where I was going with it. That's why I somewhat agree. And the other policy that I think is also really important would be school choice. In the schools where I was growing up, the way they teach history and the way they teach the spirit, that they were teaching.
Spirit!
Okay.
Bro, I felt like in the classroom.
You are determined that you will fail. You cannot succeed. You will never make it. And to me personally, whenever somebody told me I can't do something, I said, okay, watch. and then I went to medical school. But for a lot of other people, they don't have what I have, you know? So I think it is systematic because it's mostly Black people in these areas being taught these things that keep them from even thinking that it's possible.
So he's saying because Black people are in impoverished areas, and that they're taught that it's going to be very hard for them to come up, that it's a systemic thing. That whole idea, the whole system, in regards to how we school people is very flawed. If it's done by, I know you guys don't call it district, but it's paid through property tax. That's very, very flawed. Of course, Black people aren't gonna, not even Black people, minorities generally, but Black people mainly are going to be disproportionately affected by this. What? Both left and right have these Twitch echo chambers, and both sides are just saying the opposite. I would love to get someone to debate on here.
For them to achieve.
I don't mind.
So that's why I say systematic racism is a problem, and it comes
I don't think systematic, I would say systemic.
from the Democratic side.
I have to disagree. There's no law saying that you have to teach Black children that they can't make it in the world. The issue is really funding, and I think people get distracted and tend to blame it on systemic racism when it's not. It's really a poverty issue.
You don't think that's systematic?
White kids are in poor districts as well, and there are tons of districts around the
Right, but the difference between white individuals that are yeah, so in regards to white impoverished people being arrested, so when you look at the difference between arrests on drugs, okay, 100%. So in regards to specific things, like when you look at a white poor person and a Black poor person that get arrested for a weed charge, for example, the Black person gets a longer sentence than the white person. So systemic racism still does exist.
nation that are a majority white and they're poor.
But Black people are typically, if we look at statistics, Black people are in that lower income, people of color are in that lower income bubble right there. I feel like that's systematic, you know what I mean? It's targeting a specific group.
But there are tons of white kids in that bubble too.
I didn't disagree on that part. I definitely gave a shout out to, there are white kids in the trailer park.
I think a lot of it has to do with like the culture or the way that the normal typical Black family is set up. The statistics say that Black people
Actually, this shit's lagging so badly. Without bullshit. What's your Republican go? It's .com. Actually, I'll read this. Hi. Wait, whose Sora is hi? It's hi, Anthony. Hola, como estas? Leave me alone, yo. Just because I'm British. Why the fuck is it not loading? Do you want to load, my friend? Oh, that's why, because I'm on the wrong internet. Fuck. Oh, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna... Oh. Okay. Systemic versus systematic. Systemic racism. Interest over time. So I don't even recall hearing the word systemic until about 15 years ago. Google shows 218 million hits for systematic. Everything's been applying. The races there are 6 million views for systemic racism in only a year. According to systematic means relating to or consisting of a system. An alternate definition is a methodological procedural plan. But you should play the Oregon Trail. I can't play because I rather leave it at. I can't play because it's, because it's a Mac. But once I get a PC, I promise I'll start playing games. Systemic means relating to or common to a system. Yeah, okay. So kind of what I was saying. That sounds a lot like the definition of systematic, but in the context of racism, the appropriate sub-definition is fundamental to a dominant social, economic, or political practice, where systematic applies to the approach inherent in the system, not necessarily on purpose, but more... Okay. Systematic... Oh, okay, that makes sense. Right, thank you, Yo-Yo. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Don't have like two family households,
Yeah,
and that has a lot to
75%.
do. Yeah, that has like a lot to do with like, oh, the poverty rates, their
Wait, that doesn't even make sense. Single family households have nothing to do with necessarily socioeconomics. There's no direct link between the two. That's a bit of a sticky one, just because there's, yeah, no, that doesn't,
like where they end up in school. They go to jail more often, so I don't think it's systemic
well, yeah, they go to jail more often because they're in poverty. Duh.
racism, and like more as that it's a fact of having to like educate.
I think my issue with these types of videos are they don't get actual educated people. They just get a bit of like dumb fucks to speak, and it really annoys me. Like if they got a bunch of like political TikTokers on there to talk about systemic racism, oh my god, would it be a different story? Yeah, no, in regards to systemic racism, yes, even though arrests might not necessarily be racist in according to the definition of racism, that still doesn't mean racist bias doesn't exist. For example, when you look at a white individual and a black individual getting arrested for the same amount of weed, the black individual is 2.5 times more likely to be arrested, one, and also I think it's like has a longer sentence as well. They do have a longer sentence, I just don't know by how much. Neela, you came back.
A lot to deal with race in this country. A lot of my friends on the left, they literally just see that it is a racist country. We're never not gonna be, and we need like insane change to just blow up the system. I think that would be the most foolish thing. When you look at who's helping the black community, I think that President Trump has done a ton for the black community, more than under any.
Did he just say that? Correlation causation fallacy.
More than under Barack Obama, that's for sure.
I believe COVID-19
If
is
they
a
say it's not, I'm
serious
gonna
and
kill
real
myself.
disease. Rachel.
Disagree.
Casey.
I strongly agree.
Noah.
I somewhat agree.
Amy.
Agree.
Alicia.
I said somewhat agree.
Malik.
Somewhat agree.
What?
Anything that can cause the death of somebody is serious. I can strongly agree with that statement, while at the same time being against a lot of the measures that have been taking place, especially over an extended period of time. It's affected my mental health, and I have a lot of people who are scared to kind of speak out. But of course, the disease itself, yes, it's real, yes, it's serious.
It's very serious. I've known people who have family members who have passed away, but if I don't believe it's to the degree that the media made it out to be. I mean, they said really early on 2 million people will die, and we're at 200,000. Overall, it's most likely been inflated a lot.
And this is a really interesting question for me because I'm in medical school. I have access to information that like the general public doesn't. So the thing I would say is context is not being given to the general public. I noticed one week there was like, oh my God, there's been a surge in this state. Well, I know a drive-through just opened. Was there really a surge in cases, or was there a surge in testing?
I think that we
appeal to authority, and if you no wait, that doesn't make sense. That genuinely doesn't make sense. Of course, there's going to be more testing. Of course, there's going to be more testing. Yeah, we just did. Well, other than schools and businesses, but like we are supposed to stay at home. That's so dumb, so stupid. What? That is genuinely the dumbest thing I've heard.
are being distracted by the real problem in America. And the real problem in America is that we're not healthy overall. We're one of the sickest countries who's a first world country. So I think the media has really blown it out of proportion. I don't think it's as serious as it's made out.
Right, guys, because it's just the flu. It's just the flu, guys. That's all it is. Malik is probably mad too. Like, how did you somewhat agree in your qualified position?
It's being politicized to scare people.
And I don't know if you guys remember in the very beginning when they talked about this COVID, they said that the African American community was actually, more prone to getting COVID, or the Chinese virus. Gotta say it, guys. Gotta say it. Chinese virus, and it made.
Chinese virus. Why?
Sense. If we want to look at the Black community specifically, when it comes to high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, we got to take that in consideration. And unfortunately, we can't really compare ourselves to Sweden. We can't really compare ourselves to these other countries that, one, have a much smaller population, and also
Does this bitch not know what per capita means?
healthier lifestyles than we do as Americans.
Sorry. Apologies, didn't mean to say it. Didn't. Sorry.
Americans.
I am open to liberal ideas. Rachel?
Agree.
And you, Casey?
Agree.
Noah?
I strongly agree.
Ami?
Strongly agree.
Alicia?
I said agree.
Emily?
Agree.
So I said agree, but like right now, they're just like portraying so many radical views that it's like shutting me down from like listening to them all entirely. Like socialism, that's like the number one for me, because I know that socialism leads to communism and people cannot tell me otherwise. And like my family.
Are they really going to talk about communism? Wait, I need to go back. Give me a sec.
Strongly agree.
Alicia?
I said agree.
Emily?
Agree.
So I said agree, but like right now, they're just like portraying so many radical views that it's like shutting me down from like listening to them all entirely. Like socialism, that's like the number one for me, because I know that socialism leads to communism and people cannot tell me otherwise. And like my family actually like left Nicaragua because of like the socialist like stuff and the communism that was happening. So, and I know a lot of Hispanic people, like that's probably why Joe Biden isn't getting like any that much support. He is getting support, but not that much support.
I am super
Isn't Joe Biden right now winning the popular vote?
conservative, but I'm also an urbanist, and I don't mind. I live in a city. I'm totally open to.
She's from Nicaragua. That's communist. Right. Nicaragua based.
And even apply some. I mean,
Joe Biden's a
I'm
communist
vegan,
king.
so I had to say that because I'm almost vegan. But you know, it's okay for conservatives to care about the environment and things like that. It's something that you would consider.
No, because that's no. You care about it, sure, but you're not actually going to do anything to help it. That's the difference. If you support less taxes, that means you support the profitization of these companies. That means you care more about profit than human life. That means, the thing that gets you more profit is not caring about the environment.
Liberal. I especially like listening to Andrew Yang. It's hard to hate that guy. You just can't. But nothing about Joe Biden interests me. My biggest voting issue of all is China, and I think that it is the Chinese Communist Party is the biggest threat to the global order, but especially the American way. And Joe Biden has made it very clear that he's really not going to do too much to handle them, and in the past has actually enabled them.
I'm very, very open to having discussions with literally everybody. I'm in Blexit, and down here in our Tennessee chapter, when we come across Black Lives Matter, we cross over the street and we talk to them. Friendly, peacefully, great conversation. We find a ton of middle ground. We add each other on freaking Facebook. But I feel like leftists today should just be open and honest and just call themselves Marxists, because there's literally pretty much no difference now these days when you look at Bernie Sanders, when you look at Black Lives Matter, and then let's add in a bunch of like illegal immigrants when we can't even take in.
We can't distinguish between Marxist and BLM. There's no distinction. Oh my god. Wait, if that was the case, if BLM was actually Marxist and every individual was genuinely Marxist, revolution time.
Our own, take care of our own people. There's no logic. There's no logic to it. I'm open to talking and adopting things like who you decide to marry and all that kind of stuff. I'm open to that. Give people equal opportunity to succeed. But if you want to look at the LGBTQ stuff, I'm for you as an adult talking to another adult and consenting to do whatever you do. But I'm not for is shoving it down children's throats. I'm a mom of 3. I don't play that.
So you're against the LGBTQ plus community. That's nice to know. Not the fucking same thing. So you don't want people to learn the history of America. That's very important to learn. This is just ridiculous.
No, what do you need to talk about to my kids about your dingling stuff and what you decide to identify? We don't care. If they want to play with their toys.
Yeah, I actually, I work for the gay Republican group. So I am their political director in Pennsylvania and Ohio. And as far as gay issues go, I think that people looking to pass gay marriage or like repeal gay marriage, I think that's big government. I think the government shouldn't decide what is defined as marriage at all. Donald Trump has stood for the gays and gay marriage for a lot longer than Joe Biden has. Joe Biden entered the 2012 presidential campaign still opposing gay marriage. And so if we're going to talk about that issue, then I feel like public opinion has come around on that.
I said I strongly agree because the high school I graduated from, I was able to graduate with a kid who I believe he worked on Bernie Sanders' campaign at some point, and I've been able to talk to them frequently since we've graduated. We've had a lot of discussions. We have to understand there's not liberal problems and conservative problems. There's American problems that we all have. We just have we all have the same end goal. We just have 2 different ways to get there. We all want America to be better. At least I hope we do. I try to say, what if I'm wrong and what if they're right, so I can truly see what they think.
America is better now than it was 4 years ago. Rachel?
Strongly agree.
Bullshit.
Casey?
I strongly agree.
Disagree.
Noah?
I strongly agree.
Oh my god.
Ami?
Somewhat agree.
Good.
Lizzie?
I still don't agree,
I
but
said strongly agree.
Malik?
Strongly agree.
oh my god, this is so bad.
Yeah, so I somewhat agree, and that kind of actually sucks to say because I wish it was strongly agree. But when in terms of race relations, I feel like we've taken so many steps backwards. I never thought that as a millennial.
I wonder why. You voted for fucking.
And somebody in 2020 that I would go outside my door and there would be like tension, friends disowning each other, family disowning each other. I know I've experienced that. I think we have come a long way, but when it comes to racial matters and stuff, unfortunately, I think we've taken some steps back.
I believe all problems are downstream of economics. And I think when Trump says we're going to do opportunity zones, we're going to invest billions and billions of dollars into low income areas. Like in Detroit, the gentrification that happened, which I'm a big supporter of, it gave specific family members in my family jobs that paid like 4 times what they were making before. And that's because a billionaire now owns like 1/3 of downtown Detroit. Like people complain about it, but before, I bet 1/3 of these buildings were abandoned. That's done more for the Black community than any president I've known in my lifetime.
I feel the tension that Ami feels, but I do feel like President Trump's the leader to lead us out of that, because I see the Democrat Party, they see the pain, they use it, people who are hurting, make them hurt a little bit more, and become victims to whatever hurt they have, whether it's racial or otherwise. And I don't appreciate that, and I don't think that that's the answer. I think President Trump's optimism is the answer to healing that. I really do.
I do think that the economy is the biggest thing and probably the only thing that President Trump can do for us when it comes to racial relations. I don't personally think that Trump is the answer to race relations because it's a bigger discussion. It's beyond Trump. The best thing that President Trump can do for Black America and people of color is to just give them the opportunity to thrive. And I think he's done that a great job at that, especially, before the China virus
Why does she have to keep calling COVID that? I don't understand. 1. And 2, I need to see some source. I need to see a source. Where are the sources? I can't see the sources. Fucking getting these facts out your asshole.
Place and everything. But when it comes to race relations, the media has such a massive part to play. And I think a first step that we could do as society is hold our mainstream media accountable. If we didn't have to dig to see that Trump has denounced white supremacy multiple times and the mainstream was doing their jobs and not adding fuel to the fire, I think maybe as a society we could all come together and hold the media accountable for the...
I'm sorry, even if he has denounced white supremacy in the past, the fact that he could not do it during the most important time and in the debate is ridiculous.
Attention that they have caused when it comes to race relations. I don't think it has anything to do with Trump.
America's always had, political polarization. We've always had racial issues, but at least we have these problems and we have a robust economy. In January and February and March, once Donald Trump gives his second inaugural address, we'll see the economy bounce right back.
He's not the president in order to gain power. When COVID happened, he did not use the opportunity to usurp more power than he already had. It really concerns me when politicians like Joe Biden say he's going to make the entire country follow a mandatory mask mandate. That's completely unacceptable. It's an overreach of power.
I think a lot of why America's so strong is because we have such a strong leader like President Trump. And he cares. He genuinely cares about America. He loves America so much, and he also loves the American people. So I think it's like super nice to just see that a president who is enthusiastic to work for this beautiful country that I love and the American people, which is like you and me.
This is stupid.
On that note, you guys, that is a wrap.
Hey, great job, everyone.
All right, bye. See you.
That is genuinely dumb. Wow. That is genuinely stupid. Fucking hell. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna go now because I need to edit the video and post it on YouTube. So, thank you so much. Yeah, this one was amazing. I'm gonna watch the Biden one either tomorrow or the day after. I still haven't come up with a schedule, but I need to come up with one. Yeah. So, thank you guys so much. Hey, let me post you another link again. Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you. That'd be much appreciated. I'll definitely be using them. But yeah, I'll be probably doing this either tomorrow. I'll try and do it every day, but I don't know if I can. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, thank you guys so much and have a good night. See ya.